You're now listening to the Something Good Podcast Network. Please press any key to continue.
Rockin' Roll McDonald's, Rockin' Roll McDonald's. Just open the fucking episode with that.
I think we'll just open the episode with that. Welcome this week, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Couch Potatoes.
You're welcome.
I'm Alex
Morrison.
You're right. You are welcome, guys. We've been knocking it out of the park here lately with some fucking fantastic content, baby. And if you want to see more of that fantastic content, make sure you're going to our YouTube page where we've got videos. That's right, bitches. We got video content, fistful of quarters. You know it. You love it. It's where Chris, Mikey, David, and I are sitting down playing some fun video games. We'll get Chrissy wrapped up in there as well, too, at some point. We'll have to get her to school us on her favorite games. But for the meantime, we've been rocking it out, having some fun over there. So if you want to see us goofballs playing some fun video games, including an hour-long episode of Mario Kart with me, Mikey, and David, because Chris wouldn't be caught dead playing that fucking game. If you want to see that, make sure to head over to the YouTube channel and have some fun with us. If you like Mario, if you like Zelda, if you like any of that shit, we do too. And we're playing the fucking games. So yeah, come support it.
And obligatory like and subscribe.
Yes, and of course, like and subscribe, ring-a-ling the ding-a-ling button,
yeah.
You know, all that shit. Because this fucking guy, they actually have legit sponsors now with like a promo code, and they get a kickback from people signing up.
Yeah,
so
check out this fucking guy.
Yes, so definitely check out one of our. They're supposed to be like a brother-sister show, but we might have to start kind of looking at this like a WWE kind of like wrestling thing where it's like, fuck these fucking guys. Yeah. We started this shit. We are the flagship show on this fucking network, not those fucking guys.
This is going to be like just the old NWO generation degeneration shit like that. I know Hammer's probably listening to this losing his shit, but
we'll start.
We gotta get Hammer just on his own show.
Well, maybe that's what we need to do, because I've been wanting to like make up like some just general promos for each show and kind of slip them in the middle of certain episodes. I think that'd be great for David to be like, you know, the straight man like hosting, be like, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with this fucking guy show and the Couch Potatoes show, and we just start fucking cutting wrestling promos at each other. I'll be like the Macho Man. Yeah, I know.
Oh, you gotta watch more Dan Sauter to get that impression down.
I will do it. I will dedicate.
That dude is perfect on his.
I will buy all the cocaine I need. I will do anything it takes to become the ultimate Macho Man.
Yeah,
Randy
just
Savage.
look up Dan Sauter, Al Qaeda, Macho Man. It's so good.
It really. I was.
We will rain down swords of justice. Yeah. But like the way, what I love is like it's the subtleness of the impression, and it was too good. That and the Jay Leno with Pete Holmes.
Oh yeah.
I thought of these.
You actually picked up some awesome Macho Man sunglasses last weekend when we were talking about going to Gaffney.
Yeah, I wear them every day. They're the best sunglasses I've ever owned. They're comfortable.
Isn't it weird how like a meme joke could be like, fuck it, it's funny, we'll just buy it, turns into, I actually really like these sunglasses. But yeah, if you guys haven't been able to tell, we are still running around doing our retro game hunting, and one of the things Chris mentioned before we started up was this last weekend was probably one of the best weekends we've had with it so far, and it was one of our shorter trips.
Yeah, we hit the Abari, first time I ever went. They had a nice little swap meet kind of situation going on. We met some great people, some great store owners from Rock Hill, a couple other guys who were just doing really good stuff. Like,
oh yeah,
the owner of Abari had a great little tent set up in the corner there.
So you had never even stepped foot into the area of Abari, much less walking in.
No, so that'd be a cool little destination soon. Just it's a perfect place. Like, it's the way it's designed. You know, it reminds me of, like, if you guys ever seen the movie Tron. the game arcade they had.
Yeah.
And that it reminds me of that. Just kick-ass music playing around. There's fucking shit being projected on the walls, like Dragon Ball Z episodes. Pinball out the ass, arcade machines, perfect arcade machines. You know, great working order. I only saw a few that were down, but even then, they probably just turned them on.
Well, and they've also got a warehouse full of games, and I know that because I used to have Tempest, and Tempest is still not at the new location, you bitches.
No,
so I know they have a warehouse full of these fucking things, and they cycle them out, and I'm just been waiting for Tempest to get cycled back.
It's got I guess it has a kitchen too. I didn't really pay attention to it.
No kitchen.
Just a bar.
But just a bar, and I was just honestly surprised you had never been, because I remember us talking a couple times being like, man, I wish we could just like find some arcades and just like, you know, come in with a fistful of quarters and just be ready to fucking rock it out. And I thought like maybe Mikey had taken you once before or something like that.
Yeah, but it was a great little setup.
It was great seeing your face as soon as we walked in. I was just like, you've never been inside? You're like, no, I've never been inside. I'm like, well, we've got to fucking go in. And as soon as we walked down to that lower level where all the games were, I just kind of turned around and you were like, holy shit. Okay, this is sick.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool shit in there, but you know the swap meet kind of adds to it, you know. And I wish that's something that I think they could do like biannually, instead of just the summertime. And we kind of lucked out too. It wasn't like dog days of summer yet, so like a nice little overcast. One guy was like, "Thank God it's cloudy."
And that was the thing. All of the vendors, aside from one that I personally had a problem with, all the other vendors were fan-fucking-tastic.
A lot of collections, a lot of stuff. We saw some content, not content, but DIYers who made some of their own stuff. I bought a present for my niece. It was basically a homemade terrarium with Pokemon in it. It looked fantastic.
Oh yeah,
and the price is a little high, but it's going to be a gift, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
but like $50 for this giant Pokeball with a glass top with a terrarium inside, and I was like, man, that's fantastic. And she had a plethora, and she did custom work. But yeah, just that little stuff. But some of the people we met, one is a game store named after Rock Hill. Mm-hmm. They gave us a pamphlet. That's where we racked up quite a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So we were able to get red, yellow, silver, and gold from them. And I believe I bought the Pokemon games. I bought 2 Game Boys off the hill, and I came out to about $100. I came out to about 110 for the Game Boy games. Mm-hmm. $200. I got 2 Game Boy Colors.
Shit ton of games.
Yeah, I got a shit ton of games. If I wanted to spend a little bit more, I could have bought the bad ones, just to have them in a collection. But,
well, see, that was my main thing. Is like there was a couple booths that had like, this is the $1 bin and the $5 bin and shit. There were so many times I just wanted to look at that bin and be like, I don't know how many's in here, but I'll give you 15 for all of it.
Yeah.
Just to have all of it, just to bring it back, clean it all up, and then relist it. But I don't have that kind of energy.
But we met a great couple out there who had a second tent walking in. Man, they cut us perfect deals, and I'm very appreciative of that because that's one of the hardest things about doing what we're doing is finding a deal that's worth the money, but also not going too deep into it, because like me and you spoke about the Game Boy Pockets you're collecting. You know, you've got what, 4 right now, maybe 5, and like one on the way.
Yeah, one on the way would be 5.
So, you know, we're trying to figure out the best deals, but also trying not to burn holes in our fucking pockets. You know, and it's hard.
It is, and that was one of the problems I ran into with one of the vendors. Is they had a Pokemon Yellow, and it was at a, I guess, typical price. I would have felt better paying their price if the cartridge and everything else was in better condition, but the sticker was worn out. There was a bunch of marks, scrapes, Sharpie and shit on it, and was still asking for like very good price. So I'm chatting with the guys. They've got a couple other things I might want, so you know, maybe I'd kind of package it all together as a deal. But the thing is, with all of these Pokemon games, they come with these little watch batteries inside that hold your game state. And those batteries are really only good for about 15, 20 years max.
Yeah, 15 max, I would say.
Yeah, so even if they're currently still saving, at some point within the year,
they can shut off.
It can shut off without warning. So I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, do you know if this has a new battery in it? Because honestly, if it had a brand new battery in it, I was probably just going to go ahead and buy it. He's like, yeah, it saves. He didn't answer the question. He answered his own way. My question was, is there a new battery in it? I didn't ask if it saved. Is there a new battery? Well, it saves. okay, have you opened it up, cleaned it or anything? Well, I mean, just kind of dancing around it some. I was like, okay, I feel you. I mean, I'll probably want to put a new battery in because I want to like use this as my new go-to. So I'm going to pay someone to do that as well. You know, could you do X amount? It's about maybe 10, 15 off. I can't really do all that. I mean, batteries only cost $4 or something. I'm like, yeah, but labor and still sending it off. I mean, I'm still going to have to do some stuff. And finally, I was just like, you know, $10 off. He's like, no, I have to stay firm on this. I'm like, okay, fine. Set it the fuck down, just walk the fuck away. Then Chris came back up later, was like, do you have a Super Nintendo? And they're like, yeah. He's like, how much for it? He's like, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, so like, but you know, I ended up buying from those same people, but I ended up buying from the other guy.
Yes.
So they had one booth set up with 3 people running it, and there was like a left side, right side, and a center. The left side guy cut me a deal.
Yeah.
I bought a...
I think it was the center guy that was the problem.
Yeah, I didn't really talk to him much. But no, they had some homemade buttons that I bought, some pins.
Oh, the pins and buttons looked
yeah.
awesome.
So I bought my Mortal Kombat one, Majora's Mask, Zelda, whatever. But I've always done this with people, especially when we were buying stuff, is I'll buy something small first at full price. I'm like, how much is this? I'm like, fucking sold. I'm like, hey, by the way, how much would you go on that? And they're like, $60. I'm like, could you do 50? And because I've already bought something, yeah.
Exactly.
And another one rule of this fucking swap meet, cash is king, baby.
Oh, yeah.
When I started whipping some cash out, they're like, yeah, I could do that for 50.
So I had to just sidetrack to that one so we could just talk all positive the rest of the time. Talk about those guys in the second booth.
Oh, yeah, second booth. So I walk up, they had a Game Shark for a Game Boy Advance and a Game Shark for the Color and Pocket.
Yes.
I said, it had a sticker on it of $50. And I just pick it up and look at it. I did not say anything to this man. He's like, I can do 25 on that. I'm like, fucking sold.
Yeah.
I would have bought everything in his goddamn place because he would have cut me a deal. He had a GameCube, silver GameCube with all the cables for $100, and I bet if I would have just clicked the fucking eject button and just looked inside of it, he would have been like 50.
Well, that's what he did with the NES. He had a beautiful Nintendo Entertainment System, the first one. All the hookups, the console wasn't terribly yellowed, no more than what you would really expect.
No smoke damage.
Beautiful console, 100. And I just kind of looked at it, and all I said was, oh, wow, that's really nice. He's like, you got cash? I'm like, cash is king, baby. He's like, all right, 50.
I think they were just. I think they had like a bunch of stuff that they either inherited or just like stuff they just had and wanted to get the fuck rid of it.
Well, see, and that's why I wish I had just had a few more bucks in my account when I went up, because those are the deals that are looking you straight in the face, going,
buy it now.
Buy it. You have this, but buy it because someone else will buy it for 100. You're a fucking idiot. Buy this.
But I
just couldn't.
We ended up walking down a little bit further because there's multiple setups, which is fantastic.
Beautiful.
But the guys out of Rock Hill cut me a deal because I don't know if you saw the original prices of those games, but they had a silver for $68 and a gold for $69, and I grabbed 2 of them, looked them dead in the face. I'm like, could you do 100 on both? And he's like, 110. Sold. Like, fucking sold, bro. I'm not paying $140 for these, but I'll do a 110.
And what was funny is right after that sale, you walk up to me and you show them to me. I was like, oh, dude, I didn't even see those. I kind of did like a quick scan before I really, dug into each one. So where'd you find that one? You're like, oh, these guys over down there at the Rock Hill booth. I was like, oh shit. I said, I kind of grazed theirs. I said, I didn't really dig in. And he was like, yeah, they got yellow over there, Pokemon Yellow. I was like, oh. I said, yeah. I said, these other guys over there has got one too. I was
like 65.
Yeah, I was just like, he's like, oh, he's got 60 over there. I'm like, oh, I'll be right back. I'll walk on down there. Completely different attitude. Hey, man, how's it going? I'm like, it's going fantastic, man. How you doing? He's like, oh, I'm doing good. Let me know if you got any questions on anything. No prices are firm. And I was like, okay. Saw that yellow, picked it up, and yeah, it was 65. I was like, 60? He goes, didn't even ask, man. Just hand it over. I was like, okay, do that. And by that time you walk over, I start talking good on you. I was like, yeah, my buddy Chris told me to walk on down here. This, that, and the other. I said, you got an awesome spot. And then you asked me, you're like, oh, you got the Pokemon Yellow. I was like, yeah. At this point, I'm only down, I've got my blue, I got my yellow. I said, I just need the red. And the guy pointed at the red down there. He goes, I got red right here. I was like, yeah, that's going to be a little bit out of what I want to do, though, man. I really appreciate you, but thank you for having the yellow for me. This one meant more. And he was like, I mean, since you already bought the other one, I'll do that for 40.
So
I was just like, and then Chris looked at me and goes, I'll spot you 20. I'm like, okay, yeah.
but just for that guy, I've reached my goal. Like, I've reached what I wanted to get. I got replacement stuff because we went to Huntersville right after the video game world, just bullshitting around. I was able to get backup cords, which Alex already had. I should have just asked him already. But some cords, because that's another thing about the supply ones, the big stores, is they have backup on backups on backups, which I really appreciate having because I can just have them now.
Yes.
And they're cheaper than Amazon because a power cord from Amazon is like $20. But I can buy it for $8. Mm-hmm. So, like, we really lucked out with those guys. Always. And there's always a good fun time going in there. Because they replenish some of their stock. They had more Game Boys in there, more SPs, mainly.
So, yeah, that might be the key. About once a month, visit a video game world. Because that's about when they get a good shipment of stuff in. But,
no, we had a great time. We might be checking that Rock Hill place out very soon. It's not far from us right now.
It's not.
But yeah, that was I've reached where I wanted to get, and I got me a Pokemon Gold and Silver, and I got a Game Boy Color, and I got an extra one on top.
Yeah,
I bought that purple one just because. Let me just get it now. Fuck it, because I know none of these motherfuckers are going to have one. And then I just walk 40 feet down the lane, and this guy's like, got one for like $40 less. I'm like, fuck y'all, buy it. God damn it.
Well, see, and that's what's funny is
now I'm going to buy all of them just in spite.
That problem you ran into right there is exactly the problem I ran into. I saw you immediately jump on that, and I was like, oh shit. Oh, there's some other things over here. And that was the thing. We got there like 10, 15 minutes after it opened.
Yeah, and they were already starting to get packed.
Yes, I wasn't expecting. I was expecting it to be a little bit of a slower trickle heading in, but no. And I was also expecting it to be inside. If it was outside, we would have gotten there at 11:30 when it started at 12. Because I have a feeling there were some people doing some stuff early.
Yeah,
but I thought it was inside and they were just going to like unlock the doors and let us in. But yeah, that wasn't the case.
It was a perfect setup.
It was beautiful.
It makes me want to go to like a flea market.
But I saw you buy that Game Boy immediately. I'm like, oh, fuck. There's more people coming in. And this guy's got 2 Star Wars games I really fucking want. But, and right as I saw that, I looked over and I saw more of the Game Boys you just bought. And I went, but they might have multiples over here and someone might have a better deal and I might be able to work with someone else.
And that guy would have been easier to work with. That guy was, because that was his shit. Mm-hmm. I think they all went on in one booth kind of thing, which is fine. But like,
but that's why I did that quick little skim on everyone. Because I'm just like, if someone has an actual Game Boy Pocket over here in a good color that I've been wanting, I need to buy that before I start buying all these other little things. Spoiler alert, they of course fucking didn't have one. So I was like, okay, yes, I'll take that Empire Strikes Back and the Return of the Jedi, please.
But going back to the guy from Rock Hill, he had a lot of games in box that were like in protective covers and stuff. And when I was telling him, I was talking about, hey, I found the Spider-Man game out of box for like $8. He's like, no shit, that's fucking awesome. And you had walked up and I picked up the Batman Forever game. I'm like, we need this. And
it was like $80.
You were like, well, we have to open it. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I'll pull the knife out right now, split this motherfucker right open. I'll open it like a 4-year-old.
And dude just started cackling.
Yeah, I'll smash this motherfucking box to pieces. I don't give a shit.
What's great is we've told so many people now the idea for your YouTube channel, and we've not gotten as many negative responses as I thought.
I think it's because
we might be onto something.
Yeah, it's a nostalgia malaise they got. It's just like, yeah, fuck it, burn that shit to the ground.
I kind of want to like do a video. I'm not gonna say what it is on the air because then someone really will steal it. But like after Ray kind of being like, "That's funny," us telling our buddy at Crazy Cool Collectibles the idea, and him being like, "That's good," and even like 2 other people at this game swap, we were like, we've been thinking about doing this, and like every time their eyes lit up and was just like, send me the link when you do that.
Another thing, you gave me a Game & Watch Zelda game.
Yes. So one of the things, since I've basically I have relinquished to the fact that I am not going to find these Game Boy Pocket systems in person. And when I do, it's like a moment. So I just every night before bed, just instead of doing my Facebook and Instagram doom scrolling, I'm doing eBay doom scrolling and just favoriting all these.
Your childhood cost $1 million.
Yes.
That's exactly what that is.
Exactly. So I'm just doom scrolling eBay now, just looking for constant, like really good deals. And a couple weeks ago, I had purchased the Mario Game & Watch, and I found it for a pretty good deal locally. And I showed it to Chris, and he was like, oh, yeah, they've got the Zelda version of this. I was like, yeah, the Zelda one's actually kind of cooler. It's got more to it. And you're like, yeah, it's got this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Well, sure as shit, looking through everything, I found one at like half off like the usual going price. I emailed the guy, I vet him, I was like, is there anything wrong with these? He goes, dude, I haven't even opened it. This was an impulse purchase. I need it gone.
Something from GameStop that just popped up on the shelf.
Basically. And I was like, I was like, perfect. So yeah, since I had the Mario one and you're the Zelda guy, I was just like, even if this never gets fucked with, if this just gets opened up and put on the shelf and never touched again, Chris just needs to have it because it's got 3 fucking games in it and it's green. It looks like a little classic Game & Watch. It's like a Game Boy. It's the thing we've been looking for. So yeah, had to do that one.
But yeah, we had an overall pretty successful day.
Oh yeah, it was successful. It was fun. And yeah, for some reason I have a really good feeling about some of these Spartanburg shops, but at the same time, I'm not itching quite as bad because since we have finally been able to get a good handful of the things we wanted, it's like the little worms in our brain went, yeah.
Yeah, I think a South Carolina run will be good in about 2 weeks.
I would agree. I think that's a good enough kind of ball off time. And who knows? Maybe by then I'll start whipping out my fucking camera because again, even with the fucking swap meet, brought all my shit with me. It was in my little goddamn man purse satchel thing on my side. I will say I felt like a fucking gangster though when I was walking up to these spots before I bought like any of the games, the Star Wars games. I was like, "Do you mind if I test this out real quick?" And he's like, "Yeah. Hold on." He's like trying to reach. I was like, "No. I've got it." And I'm like, whoosh. That sound of the Velcro ripping open.
Oh, with your Game Boy.
Pulling out my silver Game Boy. And they're like, whoa! I'm like, I know.
Your bag of holding.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that was kind of funny. It's just like having that little gangster big dick moment where I'm like, no. I've got this. They're like, oh! But before we move on into our news segment, one thing that we're going to kind of slowly start incorporating back is doing our little pre-game pre-shows. I would like to start doing them on video again, but I do have the utmost sympathy for Chris and his work schedule and the idea of him not downing alcoholic beverages before working with heavy machinery. Yeah. So I do understand, respect that, which is why you've not heard me even bring it up anymore. However, I have been thinking, and one of the ideas Chris and I had was going to places like Video Game World and a few of the other spots. These places have really cool, weird snacks.
Yes, a lot of Thailand, Korean, Japanese Lay's chips.
Yes.
Sailor Moon sparkling water.
So I feel that maybe the next time we go to Video Game World, we'll probably pick up a couple of the little weird things and kind of bring back the pre-game pre-show, but just with some non-alcoholic things until everyone's work schedules kind of get back to where they need to be. Yeah. But in the meantime, we do have a little taste test we're going to do right here on the air. Spoiler alert, I think Chris was starting to fade already, so he tasted his. Yeah. But we do have a brand new ghost flavor that really intrigued me. It's the Electric Limeade EDC edition.
Yes.
Now, what the fuck is EDC? You looked that up right before we started.
Electric Dance Carnival in Las Vegas.
Okay.
This is massive party in Las Vegas.
So, have you been hallucinating at all after taking your first couple sips?
No, I don't think it's got any drugs in it, but it does have a good taste.
All right, well, let's see. A little crack of the can. Oh, yes. Okay, well, let's see. It says Electric Limeade. I like their cherry limeade one. I put that over some crushed ice. Oh.
Yeah.
But let's see how this is. I like that one better.
Yeah, it's a sharp lime taste.
I like this one a lot better than the other one. Ooh, I hope this isn't just a limited edition. I hope this sticks around for a minute.
I think I just noticed the first warning label on this that has 18 years or older. Did you notice that warning label?
Oh, yeah. They've got those. Because technically, you are not allowed to buy an energy drink if you are under the age of 18. You are supposed to be carded if you buy an energy drink.
Fucking pussies.
Yep. I find that one of those very weird things because at the last smoke shop I worked at,
you should be carded at the fucking door just to enter those goddamn places.
We should have been. Okay, so fun fact about smoke shops. You should be carded as soon as you walk in the door. There should be a guy sitting at the fucking door being like, ID. And if you don't even have your ID, you shouldn't be allowed in the fucking store. We are not allowed to really ask for ID until we speak to someone. And we really only are supposed to ask ahead of time if we are suspicious in the first place.
See, that's you're opening yourself up so much on that one.
Yep.
And
for purchase period, they have to have it. So it's like you do 100% ask by the time they get to the register. You cannot complete their transaction if they do not have their ID.
The problem I have
but
with
the asking part.
The problem I have with not showing ID at the door is you open yourself up for cops to use entrapment on you. So a cop tactic, which is kind of dirty, is they'll catch a kid underage with cigarettes. This used to happen a lot in the 90s, early 2000s. So they'll lie to the kid, say, "Hey, we'll cut you a break if you go to that store and go buy cigarettes again with no ID." And you come back out with the cigarettes, and it will lessen the charges. They won't. That's a lie. That's something they don't do. They will just arrest you again. They'll go in, and what they'll do is they'll buy the cigarettes from the person they previously bought cigarettes from and walk out. And then the cops will go in and take the license agreement. Yep. Like basically suspend their license, and they'll have to the store will have to pay a fine. And an employee is usually fired for that. But
that's immediate termination, right?
Yeah, that's
there.
an old school trick. But I think the reason, and it's a problem I have with how policing is. You're putting your investigation on a fucking underage minor.
So you want to know a really weird wrinkle to this? So, as you were saying, they'll approach these kids and be like, you'll get a, lesser charge if you go do this for me. You are 100% correct. If a cop walks up to you and says that, they're fucking lying. They're fucking lying. They want the fucking guy just captured and you in trouble as well. However, I discovered this when I was living in Roanoke, Virginia, and my little 16-year-old ass was looking for any and every job possible because I wanted money. I discovered that you could actually apply if you were between the ages of 15 and 17. You could apply at your local PD to be an undercover alcohol, tobacco, and firearm purchaser.
Yeah.
You had to have a clean criminal record, but you would go in, apply, and they would give you approval to walk in these places and try to purchase these items. And if you were able to purchase the items, categorize the receipt, location, everything else, and report back and let them know. The only reason I didn't get the job is I didn't have a car.
And you're putting people in danger doing that shit.
Big time.
Alcohol and tobacco is not as much, but that firearm part, I don't know if you've been around a lot of firearm guys who sell firearms. We're a straw purchase state, not like Virginia. I could just go out and buy a pistol and not have a permit. That's it. Like, we're a straw purchase state. I can just do that. I can go to the Walmart parking lot and buy like 10 shotguns, and no one would really stop me. They might have a question, like, "Are you American?" I'm buying shotguns out of a trunk. Of course I'm fucking American.
What more American task can I be doing right now?
Did you not see the American flag decal?
Oh, that was an American flag.
Yeah.
I thought there was an X on that flag.
And the 3 for Dale sign. Like, what the fuck, bro? And like, it's a very limited thing, but you have to be 18 to buy a shotgun or rifle, but you have to be 21 to get a permit for a pistol. That'll be going away soon in North Carolina, because North Carolina just don't give a fuck anymore. But I digress. If a kid buys a gun, and at some point during that purchase, if the seller sees something that's not quite on the up and up with that motherfucker,
you don't say nothing.
He could kill that person, because that's a heftier fine. Because, fun fact, the firearm part is not just ATF. It's also the fucking FBI that are going to be on your ass.
And just for clarification, the official name of the bureau is the Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Division. I don't know if they were going to be sending any fucking 15 to 17-year-old kids into buying guns. I'm just saying that was the name of the division.
Yeah, so it's not even alcohol, tobacco, and firearms anymore. It's alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives. Why they don't rearrange it and call it fate? That bothered the fuck out of me when I found that out. I'm just, can you imagine a bunch of stack team guys rolling up on a house with the word fate written on their back? I'm just like, maybe I'd shut the fuck up and give him the guns. Like,
yeah, maybe. Yes,
maybe David Koresh would have shut the fuck up and let him take the guns.
I just wanted to clarify on that. It may have been part of the Bureau, but I don't think they were going to be sending any fucking 14-year-olds in to buy guns. I think that was just the alcohol and tobacco shit.
The ATF only steps in when it becomes a larger issue. Like if we go to South Carolina and I buy about 15 gallons of booze on the discount and come to North Carolina, that's when the ATF gets involved, because they're like, oh, this motherfucker's running a liquor house on the cheap.
Yeah.
Because liquor in South Carolina is cheaper.
Well, I mean, if you hadn't said it on the fucking show, Chris, we could be making some motherfucking money right about now.
Nah, not really, because after all the expenses and risk, it's nothing. It's like selling shitty weed.
Damn it, if you had not said it on the fucking show, Chris, we could be making some mid-grade money right about now.
Mid.
That's what I'm saying.
Just like these fucking Game Boys out here. Mid.
But that's enough bullshitting around on that. I feel that it's about time for us to move on over to our news segment. All right. As soon as we fucking turned off the fucking recorder last week, it seems like Hollywood went, oh, those fucking knuckleheads aren't recording anymore? Let's release a bunch of shit. Fuck these guys. Yeah. Probably one of the lighter pieces of news that we probably won't have too much to talk about other than just speculation is we have the first logo and confirmation for a Street Fighter movie being produced by Legacy Pictures.
I'm actually excited because Mortal Kombat did so well. I really enjoyed that movie.
I did too.
And I would love a number 2 to that. Maybe focus more on like Shao Kahn and everything. But this one, god damn it, I love the bad one so much. Me and Mikey Black got to set up a time to watch that one because it is so over the top and acting. Like there's one guy who's actually trying and everybody else is just there. But we get a lot of people in that movie that are just starting out, and we get people at the tail end of their careers. Because for those who don't know, Raul Julia, who this was his last movie, Street Fighter, the live action was his last movie before he passed away, and he did it for his kids. Raul Julia is Gomez Addams in the Addams Family movies. And he gives a stellar performance as just an over-the-top Shakespearean fucking bison. Yeah. A comic book character who kicks the shit out of you. And we get Jean-Claude Van Damme. We also get, I forget, Ming Ni Hao, the Asian woman who's appeared in DC, Marvel, Star Wars, Star Trek. This woman is in everything, and she started in Street Fighter, which as Chun-Li, and she did a fantastic job. I know I brutally mispronounced her name.
It's okay, you're a white American.
But no, I'm really excited for this. I can't wait for our cast list to come out. I really hope they kind of match the look, because Jean-Claude Van Damme does not look like a 6'2" blonde American with a crew cut. He looks like a 5'5" French Canadian.
What would you say? How well did they do on the casting for the Mortal Kombat movie, the newest one?
Oh, they did fantastic. The guy who played Kung Lao, super arrogant, super fun. Liu Kang was probably the best casting in that movie, because when I first saw Liu Kang, I'm like, that's what that motherfucker should look like. A super ripped Bruce Lee dude with long hair who looks like he might beat the dog shit out of you for mispronouncing his name.
So you're not going to say his name.
But like, he was I don't know who played him, but he did great casting. He looked the part, he acted the part. It was perfect. Johnny Cage, fucking fantastic. Everyone in that movie looked good in the movie, and they were video game accurate to a point. And it was like, man, that is fucking fantastic. That is the biggest pull for me. A lot of people didn't like Sub-Zero and Scorpion. I think they did a fantastic job. That movie, for a video game movie, is about a 10 out of 10 for me, because that is a hard thing to do. Make a fighting game movie compelling, even just a little bit.
I don't want to rewatch that now.
Yeah, they added a new guy that's not in the games, which is fine. They can add him later. And I don't know if you've watched the continuity of a Mortal Kombat game. It's garbage. It's fucking stupid. But they're fun as fuck to play. That's why we play them.
I just found it cool that right as we were getting into, playing some Street Fighter and everything on A Fistful of Quarters, available on our YouTube channel, link is in the bio, that as soon as we started doing that, they were just like, nah, fuck it, here's a movie.
And what sucked was, like, this was like an early on kind of thing, because Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat the movie came out early on, and so did a lot of, like this is around the same time as Super Mario Brothers movie. So a lot of people, even back then, were just trying to do a cash grab and just did it badly.
Yeah.
Or just didn't do it up to snuff.
Here we are in 2024, and we had a Super Mario movie that was sugary sweet but fan-fucking-tastic, a really good, brutal Mortal Kombat movie, and I have a feeling that this Street Fighter movie is going to... Okay, yeah, here's my predictions early on, especially after seeing the new Beetlejuice trailer, which we can also discuss. In that trailer, the CGI that's done looks claymation. So it actually looks like old graphics, but in today. I would love a hyper stylized late 80s, early 90s look to the Street Fighter movie.
Yeah,
because Mortal Kombat was like that dark, gritty ninja movie. And it's like, that's fantastic. But Street Fighter, man, we got motherfuckers in headbands, ripped, fucking short shorts, motherfuckers with multiple arms. I mean, we got some fantastical looking things in Street Fighter, even more than Mortal Kombat. I want them to lean into that. I want it to have a good texture, but at the same time, that jittery rubber look, but like a good version of that.
I think the best thing they could do is keep the cast list low. Mm-hmm. That way they can build onto it with the newer movies. So
think like Sin City, how that was like super stylized for that. Mm-hmm. I want a Sin City approach to the Street Fighter movie. I think that would be so cool.
And another thing, like the Street Fighter anime is way over the top. It is super intense. People are getting their shit kicked in. It's very adult heavy, because I remember being on HBO at night, and I'm just like, someone's attacking a naked Chun-Li in her room, and she's just dogging the shit out of Vega, like kicking him in the face and shit. The anime back then, I would compare to anime now, just super well drawn, super fast, kind of like Akira. Like Akira's so well detailed. But yeah, like, I'm really excited for a live action for this one. I'm the only thing I'm trepidatious about is they want to do a live action Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, that got announced a few weeks ago too. Yeah,
I don't really,
because that was in speculation.
I don't
world.
want that. I want Illumination to do it the way they did Mario. They did a fun time with Mario. I think they can make a serious movie. And another thing on the back end, there's a video game series around that have enough material to make 4 fucking movies already, and they've never done it. And it's Overwatch. Anybody who's ever played Overwatch and is like, I remember when the cinematics came out for characters, I'm just like, why is this not a movie? Why are you making a game, you fucking idiots? Like, you've got a talking ape man who lives in space, and his best friend is a teleporting tiny woman, and she fights a Black Widow assassin. And I'm just like, there's so much characters, like, fuck the game, dude. Make a movie, Blizzard, you stupid fucks.
Well, it's like when you, because I'm of two minds.
Now Microsoft has it, and just let them ride.
With the Zelda movie, I'm kind of two minds, because one side of me is kind of interested to see what a live action one would be, because they could really lean into that, mythological feel and everything else, and make it almost kind of like a mythical period piece. That could be interesting, but at the same time, with them not making it animated, they have missed the most perfect opportunity. Because you make an animated Zelda movie, guess what? When you were talking about another video game franchise with so many games and so much lore, my first thought was Mega Man. Okay, we've got a Mario movie, we've got an animated Zelda movie, and then we get an animated Mega Man movie. At the very end of the Mega Man movie, he accidentally opens a portal and you see Samus.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we've got a fucking Smash Brothers movie? You're meaning to tell me we're not gonna do a fucking Super Smash Brothers fucking movie where all of a sudden Bowser, Master Hand, Ganondorf, and all these other characters are teaming up Avengers style to fucking wreak havoc upon the fucking video game Nintendo multiverse? Come the fuck on!
There's enough animators that can make a really good Metroid movie, like Alien, make it scary.
That's what I'm saying.
And like,
make all of these animated so we can have a Smash Brothers movie. That would be so cool. Imagine Mario, Samus, Mega Man, Link. Fuck it, I don't give a shit. Throw Pikachu in there for all I care. All of those motherfuckers standing at the edge of a cliff, fucking in stance pose, and goddamn Bowser's fucking ship is coming over the way, and you see Master Hand at the very top of it, and like Ganon is like at the tip of the bow, just like standing there all menacing. And, oh, dude, I will give you all the fucking money. Let's make this shit happen.
You know we're going to get a Fortnite movie before all that. I've willed it into being.
Why did you have to ruin my fucking day, Chris?
Oh, man. You're going to really hate the next shitty movies that are coming out.
I know.
But we got Beetlejuice coming out.
I was going to say that. That was literally where I was going to go. A movie that actually I was a little fearful on when they made the announcement. I still wasn't sold on the first trailer. But this actual trailer has me feeling a little better. We have a longer trailer for Beetlejuice. We get a little bit more of an idea of what the plot is going to be. Chris's idea was correct and his prediction was correct, and we definitely get a lot more Michael Keaton in this trailer as well.
So it's going to be, I think my prediction for this one is Beetlejuice will probably be like a semi-protagonist. They're probably going to use him to help stop the next bad thing that's probably worse than him. I don't think he's going to be the potential bad guy like he was in the first movie. We get Willem Dafoe.
That's a pull, man.
Added to that. We get a lot of the main cast coming back. Winona Ryder, especially the one who played her mom, fantastic. She was in Schitt's Creek. She's hilarious. Yes. But Jenna Ortega will be added to it. Most likely, she is the daughter of Winona Ryder. But yeah, so it's going to be kind of a little jam-packed a little bit with some stuff. I think we're going to get a lot of Tim Burton super references.
Yes.
Probably from the older movie. Probably some other material he's done. But no, it looks fantastic because we've been watching the Batman movies lately, and Tim Burton, we watched Returns recently.
Yes.
And it's just like, oh my God, this is a Tim Burton wet dream. Jesus Christ, it's nothing but Tim Burton like theme park shit.
And keep an eye out for later this week for the bonus episode where we're going to be talking about Batman and throbbing.
The porn.
But yeah, this trailer was the one that kind of made me feel a little better about it because, for instance, when we got the very first look at the Munsters movie, and I mean the first look without the trailer, I saw that and I went, ooh, okay, all right, this seems pretty cool. And then we got like a couple more images and like some audio and stuff, and I'm like, oh shit, this is heading in the right direction, I'm excited. And then we got that trailer and I went, this is not going to be good. I was kind of thinking the same thing with Beetlejuice because think about it. Aesthetically and vibe-wise, there's not that much of a difference between a Munsters style thing and a Beetlejuice style thing. Beetlejuice was the Munsters on steroids, but it was campy, it was weird, the graphics weren't 100%, and they kind of leaned into the creep more than the scare. That, in today's standards, can be viewed as hokey. So I was looking at it going, okay, they're either going to go gritty with this, and Beetlejuice is going to like actually be scary, or this is going to be more like the Beetlejuice cartoon that came out. That was very hokey and very tongue-in-cheek and
It was more geared towards children.
Yeah. And I would not be surprised if all of a sudden this new Beetlejuice movie is geared toward children as well. Nah, the new trailer, the sandworm scene, is what made it okay to me. When I saw the CGI that they decided to do with the classic sandworm, I went, okay, I trust this. And that's such a weird thing for me to look at and go, okay, I trust the rest of this movie because of this one scene, but I'm a details guy. And if they applied that much detail to that scene to make it feel like 90s animation, that means they put just as much time in the script. They put just as much time in the beats of the movie to make Beetlejuice, to make sure this movie is an actual good film. So that was just a very bizarre thing for me to take away from it, but at the same time gave me a lot more peace about it.
I think like the biggest takeaways I got from stuff like Munsters and Beetlejuice is the Munsters is always a wholesome show.
Yes.
It's about a family. At the heart of it, it's just about a family. It's no different from like Family Matters or Andy Griffith. That's what that show is.
It was.
And when it came to Beetlejuice, this was, let's make a comedy monster flick. The only thing I'm worried about is how they're going to handle the Alec Baldwin, Gina Davis situation, what happened to them, because they're not imaged at all in the trailer or photos. So I'm kind of curious how they're going to retcon what happened to their ghosts, because the movie ends with the ghosts living there with Winona Ryder and her mom and dad, and it's just like this. There's a cohesion. They live peacefully together.
Yeah.
So
it's an understanding.
Like, so I'm guessing it's probably they moved away, and maybe the house expelled any spirits.
Maybe I could see that.
But I would love, some type of one-liner dialogue. What happened to that couple? Because they are the crux of the movie. I'd love to see some more claymation or just like practical effects that are subtle. Other than that, it looks fantastic. We see a lot of cameos from like other monsters and creatures that kind of popped up in the original movie.
I would love to sit down with Willem Dafoe, get him 100% comfortable, buddy level, like the two of us level, and just look him in the face and be like, Willem, you are a master actor. I mean, you have done so much like respectable shit, like Tony Award winning, like should be Tony Award winning shit. Like, you are a master actor. Yet, you will be the Green Goblin. You will play in the sandbox of Tim Burton. What do you like? What kind of music do you really like? What were you into? I would love to just dive into the mind of a Willem Dafoe. Because he really strikes me as someone that's just like, music, I really like classical. I like classical music. I don't watch much TV. Those silly comic books. He strikes me as one of those kind of guys.
Yeah.
But that can't be if he enjoys playing the Green Goblin so much and is now playing in the Tim Burton sandbox. It seems like he's the actor that would stick with just roles like The Lighthouse. That seems like what a Willem Dafoe would be into, and anything else other than a Lighthouse would be below him.
No, so like Willem Dafoe, he reminds me of like a Chris Pratt, actually. Someone who would do goofy, stupid fucking shit. Be in those comic book movies, be in those video game movies, just so he could have the time and the ability to do the ones he really wants to do.
But does he really enjoy it, or is it a paycheck? That's the kind of thing
he's
I
getting
want to
paid to
find
do what
out.
he loves. So yeah, I imagine he's enjoying it. He played a homosexual detective in fucking Boondock Saints. Okay, and he played in a movie called Antichrist with Lars von Trier. Let me tell you something Lars von Trier said.
I'm sorry, hold on, not to interrupt you. You really just put all of this in such a better perspective for me. When you just said you reminded me of his role in Boondock Saints. I completely forgot about that.
There was a firefight.
Okay. That really actually helped contextualize all of this a lot better for me.
He's a weird actor, dude. I love
him, though.
Lars von Trier has the funniest thing he's ever said. He said, "Hey, what do you think of Willem Dafoe?" Lars von Trier, for those who don't know, makes horrific movies. Odd movies, but horrific. He said, Willem Dafoe has the biggest dick I've ever seen. That's all he had to say. He didn't ask about... The motherfucker didn't get to talk about his acting in the movie or how well he worked with the female co-star because she was very scared about doing the movie because there's some very sensitive subject matter. No. He's got the biggest dick I've ever seen.
All the Hollywood Babylon, Kevin Smith, Ralph Garman fans will know where I'm coming out with this. Now I have to see a showdown between him and fuck, his name just fucking escaped me. Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of the ongoing joke. Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman made this off joke one time because there was a news article talking about how big Liam Neeson's cock was.
That's fucking hilarious.
Just being like, holy fuck, this thing is like a baby's arm type shit. So they used to end the show with user submitted things, and it would be like a call and response, be like, Liam Neeson's cock is so big, how big is it? It's actually playing the sandworm in the new Dune movie, kind of shit. Now I'm sitting here going, Willem Dafoe. Interesting. For the longest time, it was supposed to be Liam Neeson.
It was just a weird fucking thing Lars von Trier said. It is one of the most off-putting things because it's that's not really what I meant, but okay.
We have no further questions.
I just wanted to ask, what was it like working with Willem Dafoe?
And moving on to a little bit of Marvel news, X-Men officially has a movie coming out in the MCU, and it is all but 100% confirmed by Disney, but all sources are kind of indicating that Michael Leslie is going to be writing this movie, and most of you guys will know him because he's done a whole bunch of Hunger Games stuff. And he has also adapted some Shakespearean type stuff for Broadway and things. So
or like Hamlet, Macbeth, and shit like that.
So pretty good writer, and I think that is actually a pretty smart move, pulling in someone that maybe has a bit more of a traditional writing background to write these characters, because
hey, anybody's better than Bryan Singer, you know what I'm saying?
Well, and mainly because, the story of the X-Men is not, flashy superheroes, fighting for, the good of mankind. Their story is a lot more nuanced.
It's an allegory story, yeah.
So having a writer that can potentially write a lot more of a nuanced story like that, I think is going to be a really good move.
I think their smartest bet is to bring on the guy who wrote X-Men 97 just for reference.
I still want to know what happened with that. No one's talking about it yet, and that makes it even weirder.
And as well as X-Men 97 is, how perfectly it ended and set up for the next season. Jesus Christ. It's like, this is the best thing Disney's done in a very long time. I hope the Acolyte is half as good.
Yeah.
That'd be the goal. Half as good. Because you'll know the mark. But... and it's like you don't have to be an X-Men fan to enjoy it. You can just watch it from that point.
And I'm about to. This coming week, I'm making that a goal.
You do not have to watch those other movies to understand the impact of what's happening. And Disney did come out and say, our next Marvel and Star Wars projects, we want them to be enjoyable by themselves. So especially the Marvel stuff, that we don't want people to watch 27 movies to have to understand one little thing, which is a smart move. They've kind of overfilled the market with the original Marvel stuff they did with Chris Evans, RDJ, and all them. So it's good that that's the plan. Let's make individual movies that are by themselves, a bubble movie. And if they connect, they connect. And you don't need to know why they connect. It's good. That's a good idea. This is what comics were so good back in the day.
I mean, take it back to phase 1 of the Marvel movies. Yeah. Each of these movies worked by themselves, but if you pay close enough attention, it's just like, yeah. And it's like, you're right. I would love for that to happen again, where it's not, because, correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe I look at it like this and you don't. It's been hard lately for me to just enjoy a Marvel thing, because I'm not just watching what's happening on screen. I'm watching what's happening on screen, thinking about what it could potentially mean, paying attention to the background for any sort of clues. It's like they try to pack, and it's fun, especially watching the YouTubers, lose their fucking minds trying to break everything down and draw connections. But at the same time, for the end viewer just watching it, I would like just a little bit more of, here is a story. Oh, here's a little Easter egg, but here is a story. Yeah.
Let's not build up. Let's make the build up happenstance. It's fine. It's fine.
And with that, apparently we normal poor people didn't get to see it, but some people with a whole lot of money got to see a brand new trailer for the new Daredevil series coming out.
Yeah. So. When that comes out, I think that's another IP that looks fantastic. That's something Netflix did very well when Marvel was really holding their own. Was to do the Jessica Jones, Daredevil, and Luke Cage. Those were very good series up to a point. Like the Daredevil one was very nitty gritty. He was tough. I would love them to bring old boy back to play the Punisher.
They are.
So this could be something that's worth it,
And it's going to be something that's worth it now, because this series, this is the third iteration of this series. They have completely scrapped in the middle of filming, in the middle of doing shit. Basically pulled the fucking plug and went, all right, everybody go home. We need to think this through again. And the last version before this one wasn't going to have Daredevil in the suit until the second to the last episode.
Yeah.
It was not really going to reference much of the Netflix series at all. It was going to be almost kind of like those weird episodes of soap operas. So it's how it's okay, you've been following the story, but then all of a sudden someone comes in, the narrator's voice, the part of so-and-so today is being played by yada yada. it almost seemed like it was going to be one of those where it's like, Daredevil is just now in the MCU. Ignore everything that's happened before. Yeah. Thank you. They're not doing that anymore. They're actually referring to Jessica Jones. They're referring to Luke Cage. And as you said, that version of Punisher is coming back. And in the trailer sequence they saw, it's the Punisher fighting Daredevil in his red suit. Like he's like just like trying to brutally fucking attack Matt Murdock. And eventually it ends with Matt being like, "It's me, you motherfucker, it's me." And him just not noticing immediately because it's the red suit. And Punisher never saw him in the red suit. So they are definitely having this as a continuation of the Netflix series. So hopefully, version 2 of our phase 3 MCU has finally come to an end. Because what was it, phase 3 that wound up being like stinker after stinker?
Yeah, phase 3 kind of destroyed the Marvel stuff in Netflix pretty hard.
Yeah, so hopefully you know
what's fucked up? They did all that work on this Marvel series, and Sony, being an independent company by itself, away from Disney, all they had to do was, we're planning to do a Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and work with Marvel, right? We're having Michael Keaton. What's Michael Keaton's job? He cleaned up New York, made a bunch of weapons to make extra money.
That was the other phase, though.
But like,
I'm talking about like Iron Man 3.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying
for the Dark World.
But what I'm saying is that was referenced long before Michael Keaton showed up in the Daredevil movie. Like there was cleanup in New York that had to be done. Jessica Jones, they're talking about, oh man, what they actually make like a legal reference to like what's going to happen to all these people who are being affected by the alien bullshit. All they had to do, Sony was just like, yeah, we'll let you keep using these people. Marvel, let's let them keep using them. And then maybe in the back alley of a fucking, Daredevil episode, he meets Michael Keaton, who's been selling weapons to bad guys that Daredevil has to fucking fight. And maybe you've created a compelling universe with three studio companies. And then we could have called Jared Leto and shot him in the head. Because now he's going to be in Tron, which it bothers me because I love Tron.
And you don't like Jared Leto.
He's weird. He's just a weird dude. He does good. He's been in movies that are fantastic.
Yeah.
He's not a terrible actor, but he's so fucking weird and dumb.
I don't like him. I don't like his band. I don't like his acting. I
can give a shit about an actor's other bullshit, but like when they're just acting, fine. Okay, just act. Do your thing. But god damn it, dude. Why do you got to be so fucking weird all the time?
He is Hot Topic personified into a human.
Oh, dude. There was so much potential with him. You know what they should have done with Morbius? Had him as an end character in a fucking Blade franchise and then do his movie.
There you go.
Like they did with the Wesley Snipes one in the deleted scene.
Yep.
Like,
I remember
Who's that? Who's that daywalking cocksucker? Oh, that's Morbius. I got his ass. I got his name. I got him. That's what
that's your name. I got your ass.
I keep Steven Dorff. I can kill that motherfucker too. I don't give a fuck. I'm Wesley fucking Snipes. IRS comes knocking. I'm not Wesley Snipes.
So yeah, this Daredevil series, I'm actually excited for that, especially since they're not going to be trying to just reboot the thing. And yeah, between She-Hulk and the Marvels and Eternals and all this other shit, hopefully we're on the and Love and Thunder, hopefully we're on the back end of the bullshit.
I'll say this: I enjoyed Eternals because it's the best Justice League movie ever made.
Does not make it a good movie though. MCU movie though.
I don't give a fuck. Guess what? They killed someone and they stayed dead. I don't give a fuck if what Harry Styles is in it. For like 2 goddamn. Patton Oswalt's in it and he plays a dwarf monster.
So yeah, so between X-Men and the Daredevil thing, we're peeking our heads out from the dark side of things because damn, I'm actually still so upset over Secret Invasion flopping as hard as it did. That had so much potential to be so good, and they really shit the bed on that one.
So you'd spoke about the Munsters. I didn't want to say this until later. It's getting a reboot for television called 1313 with James Wan as a television series.
Interesting.
James Wan is fantastic. Rob Zombie is just a fan. So like I love Rob Zombie movies. They're fucking quirky, crazy as shit. If I did Molly, I would have loved the Munsters movie, but I don't.
You don't do Molly, and you're also not an 8-year-old.
Yeah, but hearing James Wan doing a TV series, because they lived on 1313 Drive or whatever. I think this will be pretty fun.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I would love another Addams Family movie on par with the Raul Julia one, but that would never happen. Those two movies are fucking perfect. I actually had an argument with someone. The best sequel ever made to a movie, the second movie in the franchise. I said the best sequel ever made is Addams Family Values because it plays on the original and it doesn't ruin it and it adds to the story and it's fantastic. And he's like, "What about Empire?" I'm like, "I love Empire. It's fun." But they make the characters look like pussies.
Except for Vader.
Except for Vader. But like
he got an extension.
Yeah, except Luke's a fucking whiny cunt.
He's always a whiny cunt.
But
until
like
the last
he made
movie.
him worse. They made Leia weak. Made Han just say hell for some reason. Like
I'll see you in hell.
I guess hell and Christmas exist in the fucking.
No, not Christmas. Life Day.
Yeah, and apparently porn does too because the grandpa was like working it.
And another example of potentially Marvel righting their wrongs. I looked this up a couple different times, and I'm just going to go with this sentence. I don't know if this is 100% factual, but from everything I've been able to tell, this is at least what I've extrapolated from it. Sony has canceled Venom 3, the Madam Web sequel.
No, wait, what?
What?
No.
The new Morbius movie.
Oh, Madam Web's on Netflix.
Yes, it is. In the Silk TV show that was supposed to be happening. Essentially, and it's kind of, I haven't heard any recent word, but it's still kind of up in the air on if the Kraven the Hunter movie is still happening as well.
Yeah, they kind of just dropped off.
We got a trailer for it. We got all this shit.
Maybe they'll cancel it and just...
get a tax write-off.
Yeah. So
yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. That news came across the feed, I think, this past Tuesday. And yeah, it's very strange because reliable sources are posting it and all the, nerd channels are talking about it. But there's no like concrete, this is happening, this is not happening. Essentially, a lot of people are saying Sony is putting their Spider-Man universe plans on hold.
They probably should.
But what that entirely means, I don't know. Does that mean the movies that are currently being edited are still going to be released? Are they shelving all of this until what? It's like that. It was such a weird, ominous, semi-official statement without that much kicking back and really talking.
Yeah, it just needs a little bit of probably rework.
A little?
Just a little.
So yeah, I thought that was quite interesting as well. Do you have any other news segments for us here, Chris?
To kind of end the news segment, I would like to say rest in peace, Morgan Spurlock.
Yes.
One of the great documentarians of his time. The Super Size Me, Where in the World is Osama bin Laden? There's so many good documentaries. And then CNN did his 30 Days shows. I don't know if you ever watched that.
No, I was going to say, everyone really knows about the Super Size Me documentary, but talk about some of his other ones, because you were talking about that in the group chat.
So in the spirit of Super Size Me, where he spent 30 days eating nothing but McDonald's, him and his wife at the time did 30 days on minimum wage. They took people out of their element, people who, like, let's say they didn't like guns, and put them in an element of someone who's more pro-gun. Like, it's not like quite wife swap kind of situation, but it was, hey, let's look at, the ins and outs of this subject matter. And that was always played in the background. Another one is he delved real deep into his own life because he is from West Virginia. And 30 Days as a Coal Miner was like one of the most impressive ones because it kind of showed people the dangers of what this job still entails, even though a lot of it's been automated. But it was a real good, if you want a good in-depth look into West Virginia, that's not Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia, which is a horrid tale of a family that lived there. But check out the 30 Days episodes. They are fantastic. And yeah, so the West Virginia one was very compelling.
Yeah.
It was very sad because his grandmother died during the production of it, and he was there with her when it happened. And he's very, very upfront when it comes to his lifestyle and like his life. And the sad part is, cancer got him. But Brad up in West Virginia, at the Rim had met him, had spoke about a possible project.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, rest in peace, Morgan Spurlock, man. You did a great job.
Yeah, definitely rest
Rock
in
and roll
peace.
McDonald's.
And yeah, to kind of even, trail off on that one some, of course not, revealing too much information, because, I think that'd be actually a good story for Brad to tell. We'll get Brad on the show and have him talk about it some. But yeah, from what I was able to kind of extrapolate is during one of the Rimrocks festivals, Morgan was talking about just kind of popping out with like a couple of his camera crew and just kind of documenting the local music scene of West Virginia. And that would have actually been really cool to, get that little spotlight on it. And it was also pretty cool because I never connected those dots that they really knew each other. But at the Rim, Brad has like this huge like movie poster size, not like one we can purchase here, but like at one of the light boxes. He has this huge Super Size Me poster signed by Morgan.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. So I know that's still a main fixture at the Rim as well. So if anyone wants to go see that, I know Brad would be more than happy to show it off and tell a few stories. So
And
yeah,
Rimrocks will be happening June 21st and 22nd.
perfect time to go take a look
I'll
at
be
it.
up there.
Yes, sir. So yeah, so definitely check out the Rim up in West Virginia. They've got an awesome music venue and a really amazing festival that's going to be happening up there. And yeah, a slight little connection to Morgan, and you can actually get up close and personal with a huge movie poster and signature. Come on out.
We got metal bands, pancakes, snake handlers, maybe some MDMA,
You never
moonshine. You never know.
Get some what was the ongoing joke? Some Sherm in the
I was in the tent doing some charm. Getting right.
Well, talking about doing some Sherm, I think it's about time for us to bust down out some Ozempic.
Oh man.
And we're going to be talking about the brand new South Park special, The End of Obesity.
This is a fantastic special.
It really was.
They really knocked it out of the park. The last one was okay. It was fun.
The last few were definitely fun, but
The pandemic ones were great because it's a duo set. But this one just reminds me of just like a really long episode of South Park. That was so much fun.
the joke timing on this, I feel, has gotten better. I think it's a positive and a negative that a show like South Park, as much as they want to kind of disconnect from it, you really do. They're kind of using the kids as their own talking boxes. It's almost like the Matt and Trey show.
Yeah.
And whatever they're kind of emotionally or mentally going through, they're going to make the kids mentally and emotionally go through and work it out in these episodes. It really seemed like for a while, Matt and Trey just really didn't know what to do with themselves. And it kind of came through in the episodes. Because I have this ongoing theory that lockdown fucked people up way more than they realize. Not for someone like me that was always an introvert and like didn't affect me too terribly much having to be inside all day, but like people like a Matt and Trey that I'm sure, actually enjoyed, going out and doing things. I'm sure it kind of fucked with them some, and especially to still have to do the working grind of, oh shit, people need entertainment. That's us. Fuck.
I think the biggest part about just the pandemic by itself is it made people realize they don't need certain things and they can go without, and that really fucked up the economy to a point where it's like, oh, we've been spending excess on shit we don't need, and one of those was like cable. We don't need it. There's nothing on there of substance. Streaming services, we can stylize our programming to ourselves. A great way was Amazon. The way Amazon did it, where they affiliated, hey, you can have Amazon Prime and pay an extra few bucks and have HBO. You can have an extra few bucks and have Showtime or Shudder or whatever fucking, and you can just do it all in one, doing all in one kind of thing. And then everybody was like, yeah, that's a lot better than what I'm doing now. Yep. And a lot of people who couldn't work and a lot of people who did work, you kind of created this essential and non-essential workers kind of thing. And I'm not saying they're essential, but the people at South Park, they have a job they have to do. They're contractually obligated to do these things because you're selling a product that has to go out immediately. And like 6 Days to Air was a perfect documentary about that. But with them going through what they're going through is a lot different from what we've gone through.
Yeah.
There's probably little nuances here and there, but what I like, just because it's the Ozempic thing, is this is such a weird situation because this is a drug that is a controlled substance, and when people say controlled substance, they think of like Oxycontin or Percocet. It's like, no, that's just one of them. Anything you buy from a pharmacy is a controlled substance. If you have it and don't have a prescription for it, you could be arrested for it. The Ozempic thing is this wonder drug snake oil type thing, and it works for what it's intended to do, but people abused it for the side effects it causes. One of the side effects is weight loss.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's not a drug for weight loss. It's a side effect of a drug to prevent you from having diabetes.
Yeah, so my lead into all of that being, it just seemed like maybe with the world kind of correcting itself to a bit, it kind of sparked that fire back up in Matt and Trey, and maybe this Ozempic thing was the first time they've had since before lockdown that they went, you've got to be fucking kidding me, and used that you've got to be fucking kidding me to make a good episode.
It seemed like this is like the most only relatable subject they would have with the most amount of people, like, because I think it's Trey Parker, Matt Stone, Trey Parker, who's using the Ozempic, because they did a little this is an actual noise of him using his Ozempic, the click noise. They recorded the audio of him using it, which I think is funny. But with that being said, this is the most relatable thing he could do, because when you think of Trey Parker, Matt Stone, I think of guys who went viral before the internet went viral. You know, they went viral for a VHS tape. You know, they probably created that fucking term. You know,
yeah.
And they were nothing but, like, I'm not saying nothing, but they were just regular guys, and then they've built themselves up through hard work, doing what they love doing.
Yeah.
And I think they probably got jaded.
Yeah.
Very, very, and especially like after like 2016, they got very jaded in what they're doing. They're like, oh fuck, we can't keep up now. Everything's changing so quickly. And I think this was a good, like, down to earth one for them, because it does feel like an earlier South Park episode.
It really does.
And I think that's probably what they should do. If I was Trey Parker, Matt Stone, I would kind of gild it toward that. Let's make things a little bit more that kilter, like with that other season of the streaming services. You know, that's a slap in the mouth to, like, people who tried to buy them out, or people that did buy them. You know, and all hell yeah. You know, those are fun. The beepy, you know,
the beepy.
But with this one is it feels so original, you know, and we get Cartman at his best.
Oh god, this was one of the better Cartman episodes.
Yeah, this is like the 08 kind of Cartman, where it just was over the top.
So my favorite is the intro is what they used for all the trailers, which was the doctor sitting there, of course, with Cartman and his mom, is being like, in so many words, your kid's fat as fuck. We got to control this. And they kind of self-referentiate this. So they're like, oh god, not this story again. They're like, we have tried this so many times, nothing sticks with him. And he's just like, yeah, but there's this new drug called Ozempic. Yeah, all the celebrities are using it, and it's a great weight loss drug. Yeah, I mean, we can rock that out for you. It's just going to be $5,000 a shot or $2,000 a shot, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, because, all right, fun fact, guys, the FDA actually doesn't want to murder you. Fun fact. But no, this is a drug meant for people with a certain particular problem. Mm-hmm. People with pre or have diabetes 2 or 1, and it helps you maintain your glucose. So give it to somebody who doesn't have the willpower, like Cartman, to just lose weight, which I love. Is just the backdrop the whole time. And I love Kyle. Just, it seemed like Kyle like abandoned all sensibility in this episode, because it was like, we got to do what we can for Cartman, and how dare they? And then by the end of it, okay, now I get it.
See, I clocked that too. I clocked that as well. And at first, that was actually going to be one of my negatives of the episode. Was, wow, it really feels like Kyle is not using his fucking brain here. Like, he was always like the smart, sensible one. I mean, what the fuck is, okay, this is a weird change.
Like Kyle and Stan are Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Mm-hmm. Everything else is just an over exaggeration of them.
Kyle is now the over exaggeration of liberals.
In a way.
Think about this.
In a little way, yeah.
how did Kyle act in this series? And this specific one, we're going to kind of jump around some. He starts with, I don't believe Cartman. He's full of shit. Classic Kyle. Cartman manipulates him into believing it's real. But why does Kyle agree? Not because we want to help our friend. He starts looking at it in the altruistic way. He has a major problem with the healthcare system. He keeps calling Cartman fat as fuck the entire time. He does not care about Cartman. He cares about what Cartman represents. And he's going to make himself feel better by helping, even though he doesn't like Cartman, helping someone like Cartman because of what Cartman represents. And what Cartman represents in Kyle's mind is the poor fat kid that has no willpower, and the evil government is not willing to help him.
Yeah.
The over-stylized liberal, because he says one thing that really connected and made me realize this. He goes, as long as there are Indian factories making these drugs, I will not stop for the greater good. It's all about Kyle.
Yeah.
Which at the end of the day, the younger generation of bleeding heart liberals, that certain subsect, not all, certain subsect, aren't doing it for altruistic purposes. They're doing it for inward purposes. Look at how good I am because I helped someone like Cartman. I thought that was actually a pretty smart move for them to not even make him truly a liberal, but have that mindset of the, I'm just going to do what I feel is right because it's going to make me feel good and I can be the good guy in the scenario.
Oh, that's always been South Park. It's always the, let's take the most extremes of the political spectrum and show them for what they really are. Mm-hmm. But what the
Stan is almost the center of everything to a detriment now.
All right, so Stan is always the lesson learner. He is the audience. All right, most of the time, until he becomes jaded later on, where he ends up having a mental disorder, where he sees everything as like bullshit.
And I see my reflection.
It's all shit. And he turns to alcoholism because it's like that's the only way he can see positivity is like dumbing himself down.
I remember watching that episode brand new when it came on. I was a kid, and that was like the first time like I got emotional watching a cartoon. Like I was a kid, like welling up with tears, being like.
But the great thing about South Park is, you know, we see like what the right, you know, the ultra right and the, you know, ultra left kind of juxtapose on each other, because in my opinion, the political spectrum is a circle, not a line. Eventually, you end up meeting each other in the middle, either good or bad. So you either have 1942 Germany or us now. So like you really have
opposite ends of the spectrum. However,
it's a circle because those two meet in a different aspect.
We're just on the 180-degree angle.
Yeah,
we're on our way back around.
Yeah. So but America, I will say this: America is about the pendulum swing. Once we have something over here and it changes, it's a full swing to the left. It's not good, but it's a pendulum swing. You know, a long time ago, a guy could beat his wife, beat her to almost death, and she couldn't get divorced. And now it's rampant divorce, broken homes, and because the pendulum swung, that's what happens. And so we have to deal with the consequences. And South Park shows those consequences very well. And I love you know, he decides to take initiative and make his own drug. That's the whole point. We have three different things going on in this episode. In the beginning, it's Randy having a problem with his daughter.
Yes, so because like I said, we're gonna jump around, but yeah, I love the intro because as soon as they leave the doctor, it clicks right back to the Marsh house. Shelly's trying to leave the house in a fucking belly shirt, and fucking Randy is losing his mind. And what does he say at the very end when he's talking to Sheila?
Sharon.
He's
looking Sharon dead in the face, and she's like, she's gonna get racked up with a bad group of girls and do bad drugs.
Yes. All because of that t-shirt.
Yeah. All because we're at a crop top to school. And that is just one of the many problems that is happening in the show. And because they're able to do it like a movie with like 3 episodes in one. They're able to get away with like a lot of interarching story. Because if we watch this as 3 episodes 1 week apart, we're going to be like, God damn, what happened last time? Click, 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 click.
Yep.
You know, we're not going to binge watch it. You know, but this is what I like about Paramount when they got, you know, let's cut a 3 episode movie and do it right.
Yeah.
But no, he tells her, you know, he's going to get wrapped up. And by the end of it, he's wrapped up in that same situation. So that's the story arc of Randy. And then you have the kids who are just trying to help Cartman as much as they shouldn't. But they're trying to help Cartman with developing their own version of the drug because he can't get it. This is actually a prior thing that's been happening. And then like the last 15 fucking episodes of this show is let's help Cartman because he can't help himself because he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
And he's dangerous. Okay. And with that one, we see two different problems to this with one solution. Mm-hmm. One is willpower. Cartman doesn't have the willpower to stop eating terrible shit.
Yeah.
But also to help someone who is in dire straits, doesn't have a lack of willpower, who is just fucked, like someone who's born with diabetes. You've now shown the world the hurdles of people with this disease.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't have willpower. They just it's a diabolical set to watch them die. That's the American healthcare system. They want you to spend dollar after dollar until you die. And that's the name of the game because we've created the economy based on that.
Yeah.
But he's showing this like, look, these are the 2 things that are causing Cartman to be terrible.
Yeah.
He could have the willpower, and we could give him medicine to help his willpower because they show that in the show. He's like, oh, I ate a cereal bomb, and this time I didn't have to eat the whole thing. And what he describes is this disgusting monstrosity.
It was Cocoa Puffs, Captain Crunch, an 8-piece KFC bucket topped with milk.
The chocolate milk.
Yes, chocolate milk.
And he's like, look, guys, I didn't even finish the 2. Look, there's 2 chicken thighs down there in the milk broth. I'm not even. I don't even want that. And he's like, I shit on the shitter while I eat, so make more room. And it's just like, this is literally the hell that Homer Simpson was in, where he's got the donut machine. But like to me, that's like, yeah. So you're showing 2 parts of the same problem: obesity in America. Some people don't have willpower to stop, and some people are just fucked because this is all they have. Mm-hmm. And why does Cartman eat? Because he's emotionally distraught. He can't function normally because he uses food to fix his problems. And for a lot of people, that's what they know.
I thought that was also a very smart way of doing it. So it's like they gave Cartman bad motives. Mm. The reason why Cartman wants to even lose weight in the first place
is negative.
Is for a negative reason. He wants to talk shit on everyone because he believes the only thing people have on him is that he's fat.
Yep.
If he was no longer fat, he could call out races, genders, people of all walks of life. And no one could say anything to him because he is
Pakistan.
Yes, because he is a normal kid. He's at a normal weight. He doesn't have pimples. Everything else about him is normal, so no one would have anything negative to say. However, put that into a real life scenario. Okay, I can 100% see me in a completely separate universe where I never fell into music, I never wound up really getting any friends, and all I really did was sit home and play my video games and continue to gain weight. If I didn't have a good support system around me and a parent that went, yo kid, you need to start getting some fucking hobbies so you don't become a fucking dork. If I didn't have supportive parents to do that, all of a sudden I would be looking at, oh, I just want to lose weight so I can do this, that, and the other, but I've just been beaten down by so many people so much, my only comfort is food. If I take away the comfort of food, then I'm really going to mentally spiral into an even worse place. Which is a genuine thing. That is an actual mental problem that a lot of people that have large amounts of weight have to deal with. That is their only comfort because they have been shunned by so many rude people. So it was a very smart way of kind of showing that people can not have willpower due to their nature. I mean, due to the nurture, not their nature. Just unfortunately, Cartman wants it for bad reasons.
What I see about it is, South Park has always been, you are responsible for yourself. and you're responsible for the other ones around you to maintain your universe. Okay, so if you want to stay in a comfortable way, stay in a comfortable life in a town or whatever, you are responsible to take action to meet those goals, whether it be losing weight, working out, finding a job that's more mentally your speed, making sure you are taking care of yourself, voting,
And your family and friends.
but like voting, supplying for your family, creating a world where you are more comfortable in. And that's always hard. And it's always going to be hard, but that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
If it's worth having, it's going to be hard to do. Okay? It's going to sound stupid, but like trying to find these fucking Game Boys and stuff. How many places have we drove to? How many places have we gone to get to this point to where we can talk about this on the show? How many times have we watched that terrible fucking Batman movie where I'm just grinding? I'm like, keep your eyes open. Keep your fucking eyes open. Mr. Freeze is going to make a cool joke. So like, the hard things have to be done. Yeah. But like,
no, and I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, even where I'm at right now is like every week you see me, I have a brand new idea on how to break in a couple extra dollars so I don't have to go back into the regular workforce. Because as soon as I go back into the regular workforce, everything that I've been trying to build for my own sanity and for my own actual building of who and what I am would be all for naught. Yeah. So is it worth it to go week to week, scrape in just that little extra cash I can, just so I can still go, I'm doing this my way, I'm making my money? And right now, yeah, it is worth it. It's worth that grind and that anxiety for about 3 days out of the week going, oh fuck, I'm fucked. And then all of a sudden, a couple days later going, wait, no. I'm good if I do this, and this.
I think a bigger,
because it should pay off.
Yeah. So a bigger thing about this kind of show is with personal responsibility, we're seeing the effects of lack of willpower, and the other part of this, which is I will say is a more liberal look at the problem, is the companies.
Yes.
The people that are in charge, the sugar companies, who are demonstrated with Little Debbie, Sugar Smack, Tony the Tiger, Captain Crunch,
the Cuckoo Bird,
all the people who just want to,
and the Twinkie Man.
What I love is the head of the group is a white-haired white fella in a suit who looks oddly similar to the man who runs Kellogg, who famously said not long ago, if you're hungry, poor people could just eat cereal, which is the most like Hunger Games level fucking bullshit. And I was just like, this is why people want to cut your fucking heads off. Yeah. You piece of shit. All you have to say is this, like, look, to make it, to deal with inflation, which is a lie. We won't raise prices. If a billionaire ever said that, he would be broke within a week. If a billionaire ever said we were going to lower prices to help the American people, he would be crucified by the fucking other people. What are you doing, you son of a bitch? Shareholders would rip him to pieces. But it's this audacity. I think that's the problem people have with like billionaires. It's the audacity coming out of their mouths. Like, we have said terrible things, and I am poor, and therefore I'm allowed to say it. I will say whatever I need because you're not going to take anything financially from me that taxes and my fucking job doesn't already do.
Yeah.
But if I had $1 billion with a fucking B, I don't think people fathom that number. And that is scary. Like, if I gave you $1 million, how long do you think you would last on $1 million cash? Like, think about.
I mean, if I was a normal person,
think about your lifestyle
at all.
Think about your lifestyle now. Mm-hmm. Think about how far you can live on your lifestyle with $1 million
without reinvesting or doing anything to continue that money.
How far could you make it on $1 million cash
without reinvesting? Not very long.
All right, but like, think about it. You could pay your rent, you can pay your food, you can pay your internet, and that's all you really need. If you want to do some other stuff, that's fine. But how much of your money, that $1 million a year, do you think you could stretch it if that's what you're doing with your lifestyle now? No band. I'm not talking about like going to tour. I'm talking about going to shows, doing the podcast and stuff. Like, how much do you think you spend in a year? Like, think about your rent, think about your carpet. And I tell this to everybody. Think about what you can do with $1 million and how many years you can do with that. Now, I want you to times that million by 1,000, and that's 1 billion.
Yeah.
That's just $1 billion. And we got motherfuckers walking around with 80,
Yeah.
$90 billion and equity on top of that. So just shit to fuck with. And it's the audacity of these fucking people. Oh, just don't go to Starbucks. What?
I'm sorry, I did the math. Even if I went to Starbucks every fucking day for
You
a
basic
month,
bitch.
that still would not. The amount of happiness that I would get from that Starbucks drink does not equate me paying for a bill at the end of the month. Fuck you.
Yeah. Well, like it's a conversation, you know, people need to have with themselves when they're talking about, if you're going to critique billionaires, this is what you really need to think about, you know. And I don't think people understand that. I don't think $1 billion. I think if you get $1 billion, you've won. Which you've reached $1 billion, and I mean $1 billion, not like in stock, and so I mean $1 billion cash. You've won capitalism. You've won the Monopoly game, guys. Congratulations. You get a
Clock
trophy.
out.
You get a trophy. I think they should make a gold trophy and give it to you, and that's it.
And then your rule is you have to exit the market.
But like, not even exit the market, but like do what we used to do with millionaires back in the day. It's just like, hey, Rothschild, you want to keep that money? Well, of course I want to keep that money. It's my money. He's like, well, we can either tax you or you can build stuff. Mm-hmm. We need you to build stuff. He's like, okay, so what did he build? A fucking university for higher education for the public. Oh, he created scholarships and grants. Cool. That's great. That's like when America actually made some shit. I'm going to sound like an old man here in a second. But like, this is when America started building a lot of shit with billionaire money. We built the interstate with billionaire money.
Yeah.
And guess what? They got a write-off. And guess what they did? They built businesses that use that fucking interstate system to put trucks on. Mm-hmm. Congratulations, guys. You won capitalism. I own all the railroads. You want to travel? You have to pay me to travel. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a really fucked up kind of thing. But that's what he was in the show. Yeah. That's that guy. He's the face of capitalism. This old guy who's a cocksucker who doesn't understand the real world. Because go back to Morgan Spurlock, 30 days of minimum wage will make you want to murder yourself. Because they tried and failed. They tried so hard to live on minimum wage. Both of them working too. And this was, guess what? It's still the same.
It was probably like, what, 2010, 2011 when they did that shit?
It was 2008. I was making the same amount of money. And when I saw that, so I was like, yep, I think it's time to do crime. Because, you know, we talk about...
Quit saying this on the episodes and we can do it, Chris.
I'm just saying.
You are implicating us so much on these shows. Every time you start talking about something, I'm like, I have a good idea. And then you're like, if we were to do this, I'm like, shut up. You're implicating us. Well,
as of one of two couch potatoes, I'm not the one who bought illegal firearms from a Pakistani man. So I'm just saying, like, maybe I'm on the up and up. Alex Stiff of Charlotte.
But yeah, so one of the other things that as soon as because I watched this twice now, so I could really dig it in. The first time I watched it, I went, oh, Chris is gonna get PTSD. The boys have to navigate the American healthcare system,
which is a fucking joke. So, like, what they're like, a horrible thing about the American healthcare system is if you have insurance, it's so goddamn tough. And now think about if you didn't have it.
Me.
Yeah. So, like, think about. Let's say you got the sniffles, and the sniffles turned into a cold, and now you're just like, hey, Chris, I can't get out of bed. I don't think I could walk. I'm dehydrated. I'm fucking dying. I'm like, okay, let's take you to the hospital. And it's like, that's the worst outcome than not going to the hospital.
Yeah. No, sir. I'm just letting you know that the shows are canceled because I'm about to be canceled. Yeah.
So, like,
by God.
So, like, that's an everyday thing, and like, it's fucking horrific. And then you have to worry about the horrific regulations around that. So, like, at my job, we have an insurance plan. That takes a big chunk out of your check, and then you can't use it because it's not worth a fuck. And then you have third-party government, and yeah, you could use that if you make so much money. And guess what? You can't get it if your employer offers insurance. So now they've closed. The private companies have literally created corporate communism to prevent the government from doing their one fucking job, helping the people they fucking serve. Because that's the government is supposed to provide goods and services for everyone, okay, at a premium. That's why governments, when they want their taxes and you don't pay your taxes, they don't charge interest when you don't pay them. If you owe the government $2,000, you'll always owe them $2,000 until you pay it off. They don't ask for like 8 points on the fucking 1,000, all right? You know what I'm saying? They're not the mob, all right? I know people that owe the government $12,000, and you know what they do? They pay a monthly payment with no interest.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
And actually, fun fact on that, years ago, when I didn't have insurance as well, I went to the doctor, and thankfully, the bill wasn't that fucking much. At the end of the day, it was like $2,000. But I got the bill, and I went, "Nah, I don't have that." And I just kind of put it off to the side. I legit 100% forgot. It wasn't even just, I'm going to pretend I don't have this bill. I'm
going to manifest no debt.
I wasn't sitting there doing that. I'm sitting here going, I need to manifest more than minimum wage. That's what I'm trying to manifest at that moment. A year goes by. I get another letter, and it's from the fucking Novant Healthcare over here in town. And I'm just like, oh, I forgot to pay this bill. I left that thing unopened for 3 days because I was terrified to look at the bill.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm probably about to owe these motherfuckers like $10,000 now. Open it up, $2,000. I was like, huh? What? There's no interest? Oh, fuck you guys. You're going to wait a little longer. That bill sat there for 3 fucking years until I paid it off.
But like, even then, you know, there are little things you can do when navigating the healthcare system.
And it was cheaper by the time I paid it off because they assumed I wasn't going to pay on it. And so I only had to pay like $500 after that.
You pay pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
But this is what's crazy is I used my Lowe's card once. I think I paid $100. I owe them $325 because I just didn't pay it. I'm never going to pay it. It is going to sit as debt on my account forever. I'm never going to
8 years,
but I'm not going to pay it ever.
Yep.
I'm not going to declare bankruptcy, but I'm just not ever going to pay it. If they want money, they can ask, and I'll just say no. The things I do pay money on are a car because they could take that away. Lowe's isn't going to come and take the ratchet straps and wrench I bought.
Sorry.
You know, so I think I lost the wrench. Like,
if you can find it, great.
I think it's in Fredericksburg, Virginia, somewhere on someone's yard. But what I'm saying is, it's like with the healthcare system, there are ways out of it that they didn't really show in South Park. They're showing the most severe part of it, and it's people that have to go through networks and insurance plans, adjusters, doctors, and a lot of this is on doctors. I'll say, I'm very lucky because my doctor always asks, "Hey, I'm going to prescribe you a medication. If you go to the pharmacy right after here, you tell me what they charged you." And he's like, "If it's too much, you tell me, and I will give you this. And it's a box full of samples. We'll just give you this, for free.
Yeah,
or we'll give you a card where it makes it a lot cheaper." Because, fun fact, drug companies are like drug dealers. They're terrible people. They are. They send these representatives out, and that's why doctors have 45 fucking pens in their pocket with like AstraZeneca and Ozempic and fucking diabetes medication. Why do you have all those pens? Because we gave them to you when they signed the fucking paperwork to have all these samples in the back and get doctors to, sell this drug. Ozempic is another version of Oxycontin, because that's how Oxycontin became prevalent. The people that made Oxycontin told doctors, prescribe your patients Oxycontin for minor pain. No, don't fucking do that. It's not for headaches, motherfucker. It's for somebody who lost a limb. Like, it's pain. I'll tell you right now, pain, and like your fucking head hurting. Yeah, maybe you're just a pussy.
Yeah,
like,
those are two different things. I know what you're talking about with pain.
Yeah,
those are two different things.
But like with Ozempic, it was the same thing. It's like, hey, we have this new drug for pre-diabetics and diabetics. Let's just put this out here. It's going to be great for them. We've tested it. We've done all this stuff, and we've made a generic version. We've made pill versions. And it's a one shot a week kind of thing. Okay, cool. You've made it so fucking simple to use this goddamn drug. And then rich people started using it. I was going to
say, Laurie, the soccer mom, went, what you got there?
But like, it's not even that. It's just like the rich people started using it. And then people are like, oh man, if the rich and powerful are using it, for the lack of willpower to work out and just eat less. And like, I love this thing about weight loss because I'm a big guy. I weigh 285. I'm 6'2". I'm a man, though, so for me, it's a little bit different for a woman. I could lose all this weight if I just stopped eating a lot. Okay, I love to eat, though. I'll tell you that. I'm a fat dude. But how important it is to eat less as opposed to exercise? Exercise is important. But if you just eat less, you'll lose weight so much faster than exercising. There's literally a guy on YouTube.
It's portion control. That's all it is.
But it's about energy in. There's a guy literally online right now proving that he's eating a 500 calorie deficit in sugar He's only drinking Kool-Aid, soda, and water, and he's losing weight. You know why? Because he's not putting so much energy in. But he feels fucking miserable because he's taking a drug called sugar.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I figured that out with my body early on. Is if I have stuff like cakes and sweets,
I will say you
like
may need to eat a sandwich every now and then.
Well, I'm saying like if I eat that kind of stuff, I'll blow up. But however, if it's pasta, pizza, regular bread, if it's a bread not mixed with sugar, I'm usually okay. It's sugar that will just fucking rack it up on me. But the whole time watching this episode, especially the healthcare system part, only thing I can think of was who got hurt, Matt or Trey, because it was so detailed and like had such a line in that movie. I'm sitting here going, this is personal. This happened to one of them, and they are venting so hard right now.
I think it was Trey, because he probably has a problem with diabetes or pre-diabetic. And once famous people started using the drug, and Trey Parker, Matt Stone, they make good money, but I don't think they're $20 million a film.
Not a film, but between all the things they've done recently and all the deals they've inked.
For them to buy it outright, even them coming from a small Colorado town, is just like $1,200 fucking $1,500 for a dose is ungodly.
Yeah,
it's no different than Martin Shkreli charging 10 times the HIV medication. That is not just it should be criminal, but it's also immoral. It's very destructive, and it's more of a how fucking dare you. But in this whole episode of the show or movie or whatever, we're seeing all sides to this main problem, which is obesity in America, and using this idea of franchise drugs to get rid of it. My favorite thing is Randy saying, "Man, I remember using drugs and like it was fun.
It made me lust after things more. It made me want things more.
It's what drugs were supposed to be.
But this drug, it like makes me want things less, and my dick still works."
It's fucking bullshit.
I know.
I love that idea of just like, it's almost like the old man complaining. I mean, back in my day, we had good drugs like heroin, and it's just like, God damn it, dude.
Well, see, that's kind of why I like the Randy subplot this entire time. Is his whole subplot is rooted in a traditional mindset, which is on the surface. Randy was complaining about his daughter going to school looking like a whore or a cum slut, as he called her, because he doesn't want her getting in doing like heroin and getting fucked by boys. And she goes, "I can wear whatever I want." Dad, he goes, "Oh yeah, fine. I guess I'll wear whatever I want when I come pick you up from school today." She's like, "Fine, fuck you, me. So he shows up wearing a fucking hoochie shirt.
He's the perfect example of a terrible parent.
And the mom walks up and she's like, "Oh, you're into drugs?"
Hell yeah, I am.
Because all of the moms in South Park are wearing these belly shirts because they're on Ozempic. So the mindset of Randy being like, "Oh, she's going to start doing heroin and getting fucked by dudes," he winds up falling into that crowd because all the soccer moms are taking Ozempic. And then I love Randy the entire time. Every time those women are talking to him, instead of staring at their tits, he's staring at their gut. Because he's just like, oh.
He's such a piece of shit.
And then eventually makes his way over to the girl's house where he thinks it's just going to be like a drug exchange. The entire time he's sitting here going like, "Oh, all these MILFs are like into weed and cocaine and Vicodin. Fuck yeah, this is my crowd. Fuck yeah." And he shows up with like this fucking thing of weed and he's like, "I brought an appetizer." And then Tweak's mom comes out of the corner and she's like, "I went to New Mexico and got us samples." And he like takes the fucking thing and it's like this heroin, like, oh. Yeah. And so now Randy has fallen into a bad group of people taking drugs with women, all because he wore that hoochie shirt to school.
And he was right. For him. But what's another thing is like, there's so much like Easter eggs on this one. Like one is the Scarface scene where all the drug guys are watching this dude give a speech.
Yes, because the kids decide, since they've navigated the healthcare system and it's full of bullshit, Kyle goes, "We don't need fucking big pharmaceutical companies.
We'll make our own.
As long as we have YouTube and TikTok, we can make anything we want." So all of a sudden, the cereal conglomerate sees one of these TikToks and puts it up on the big screen, and Kyle goes, and our drugs are cheaper than a Little Debbie snack.
Motherfucker.
That I howled when I first watched that scene. Little Debbie just staring at that screen, smoking a cigarette. Son of a bitch.
And they're all smoking. That because that's the new thing of how do you find a villain? It's someone who smokes. It used to be Ravs. Russians, Arabs are villains. And what I love is this is the same group from the movie Scarface. They're like, hey, Tony, we want you to kill these motherfuckers. He's like, okay. And that literally happens. Like, he goes out and if you watch the movie Scarface, it's more elaborate. But that's the scene they're parodying off of. And then they go full Mad Max.
Oh my
with
God.
it, because so we're getting a shipment in from North Carolina.
Yes.
Fun fact: North Carolina has a lot of drug production companies. One of them is Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly, if it was a villain, would be the Joker, because they just don't give a fuck. Eli Lilly is massive. Sponsor us. I would love some samples of some weird shit you're developing with DARPA.
That's all Chris there.
That's all me, baby. The new Oxycontin. But another thing, like Ozempic, the way I love why they made it this euphoric incidence for it, and it's not.
No.
Ozempic's literal side effects are the same side effects of Ritalin.
It just makes you not hungry.
It makes you not hungry, and you lose weight very quickly. And that's it. And it's mainly in your abdomen, because the way it functions is like you're not burning fat, you're just not adding to it. So your body's like, oh, there's fat here I could just use. Let me do that. As someone who binged Adderall for 3 days and lost 15 pounds in that amount of time, I don't recommend, because you're just super hyper focused and you're just like, you have so many road rage incidents. Like when that guy died, I was like, oh fuck, maybe I need to stop taking it. That is a joke.
Quit implicating yourself, Chris.
That is a joke. That is a joke. He was killed by the police.
I was fine.
I was fine. All I yelled gun, and they got his ass.
But I thought it was also a really cool. There was a lot of layers to the cereal thing too, because
Like an onion.
what were the cereal conglomerates pushing?
Sugar.
And instead of Ozempic, they should have Lizzo.
Yeah, it's just a common thing. It's like no different now than
Rich people get Ozempic, poor people get Lizzo.
But it's not. It's just it's a weird term called vertical integration. If I own Pepto-Bismol and I decided to call Frito-Lay and make a brand of chips that make you shit yourself, I would be inclined to invest in those chips, because now you have to buy my drug. Vertical integration. And that is one of the most evil corporate things. And guess what? Frito-Lay works with pharmaceutical companies. PepsiCo works with pharmaceutical companies. And that's why we have a lot of sugar-free drinks now, because they decided, oh wait, people don't want sugar. They've been warned about the dangers of sugar because we lied about the periodic table of fucking food. When the food pyramid came out, we don't need to eat a shit ton of bread. No, we don't. We just need to eat meat, vegetables, fruit, and a balance of grains, and that's it. You don't need a sandwich. You don't need
As you look back at me again and be like, except for you can eat a few.
Need a sandwich.
You can eat a few sandwiches.
They're like, you eat a Subway sandwich. Motherfucker.
Bro, you see how I eat though.
Yeah.
You see the shit I eat.
Yeah. It's like watching my buddy Aaron from back in the day eat like 18 pancakes and make a waitress cry, because he's like, are you going to pay for those? Like, yes, he's going to pay for them. It's endless pancake day. It's just it's a medical marvel.
Dude, I'm just enjoying it.
I told him, I said, one day you're going to eat candy and you're going to get fat. And then one day I saw him not long ago and he got a little pudgy. I'm just like, see what happened?
See,
you
and
ate that candy.
And that's why I'm not talking shit. I'm just enjoying it while I got it.
It's coming.
Because one day I'm going to wake up and be like, ooh, I'm feeling a little sloshy. I start kind of kicking back a little bit, not eating so much pizza. And then all of a sudden, a week or two later, I'm like, still feeling a little more sloshy.
You need some Ozempic?
Uh-oh.
But like, what's funny is like with the Ozempic and the Lizzo, is like it's this idea of like, oh no, we've been in on it the whole time. But what if we were to make a drug that we promises to have the stuff of like Ozempic or Sojourn or whatever, but let's say we made it not do that. Okay, like it's a very carnival kind of situation where it's a lie.
Well, one of the things that like South Park always has that one or two lines in a episode that doesn't make you laugh, but more or less like makes you like go bug-eyed for a second, go, oh fuck. The line for me was the whole reason why the kids had to even get that shipment from North Carolina was because the cereal conglomerate group decides or figures out that the kids have been getting stuff from India, so they hightail it on over to India and blow up the factory. And then the news reports on it and says a body positivity group burned the place to the ground. Yeah. And that's when I went, oh, that was a biting political call.
But it's the idea of company-backed terrorist organizations, which is a real fucking thing.
And that's the reason I just kind of raised the eyebrows and the eyes got a little wider, and I went, oh.
Like, have you ever heard, like, I'll bring this up, the conspiracy of PETA is a radical anti-meat organization who does violent acts that's sponsored by meat producers. Wouldn't that be something crazy? Because that's a conspiracy. He's like,
I have heard that one before.
Yes. You know why? Because it's almost valid.
Well, and the reason being is, outside of the conspiracy aspect, there have been video proof of like PETA not saving animals.
Oh yeah, they kill your dog.
Yeah,
they will kill your dog. If I see a PETA person, if I see someone with a PETA shirt in my fucking yard, I'm killing them. Like, I'll give a fuck. That's a warning.
If it says anything, I have met many a vegetarian and vegan that say fuck PETA.
Yeah, they're not for animals. Guys, don't give your money to PETA. Give it to us.
Yes,
or the ACPCA. That's a solid.
Another good one.
Fun fact. That's how we tested electric chairs with the ACPCA. But I'll digress.
Anyway,
that's a history lesson for you.
History we forgot.
A dentist invented the electric chair. Because he saw a drunk touch a generator.
But yeah, so the Mad Max scene. Oh my god!
And it's two of them. It's the Mad Max Furiosa one, and it's the Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, where they open the fucking thing, and it's not there. It's the insurance guy.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, it's all connected. You were never going to get it. It was just a runaround of the American healthcare industry, because drug manufacturers, drug producers, drug sellers, and drug consumers are all interconnected. It's not just insurers; it's the hospitals.
His line was like, "Oh yeah, the original factory you got your drugs from, they were insured. That blew up. They were insured by us." And I was like, "Wait, So how do we get the drugs?" He's like, "Oh, don't worry, it's coming." But yeah, and just kind of left it on that. Like, that was kind of the wrap up of that, where it's just like, no, you get nothing.
It's a slap in the face, because you think you've managed it, but you're not. Mm-hmm. Hey guys, we showed you the horrific things of how to manage the maze that is the healthcare system. But guess what? It's so much worse once you figure out a solution, because what they'll do is they'll make that solution you have damn near impossible.
Yep. And
for a lot of people, on a serious note, for a lot of people who without insurance or with bad insurance, it's hard, man. I'm not saying go full of like Eastern holistic medicine, but I am saying, there's a lot of things you need to do to study about what you're paying for. Hey, what is my job offering? What is something I could get? Should I allow my taxes? Should I turn in my neighbor? You are
little things
called responsibility. We're back to that, guys. So maybe I shouldn't buy that pizza at 7-Eleven. Maybe I should just fucking take it. You know what I'm saying, guys? Maybe when the guy from
$5 is only $5.
Maybe when the guy from Kellogg's tells me to eat cereal, maybe I should blow up a cereal truck. I don't know.
Something.
I'm not advocating for terrorism. That would be wrong.
I'm just spitballing. I am providing entertainment. This is an entertainment show. Wink.
Yeah. So it's like, it reminds me of the Quietest Kid You Know, when he talks about you should say you want to kill the president, but if you sing it in a song, it's okay.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to blank, 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 blank. And he's just saying in a cadence, and it's just like, see, it's okay if I sing it. And he died. I'm not gonna lie. The kid from Honest Kid You Die, he died.
Yeah. Trevor
Deadman.
Fuck! I used to love his High in Church album. Fuck.
Yeah, but it is.
What's his name? Oh, I feel so bad now.
You got a phone.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, this is kind of like juxtaposed on the whole, like, how violent these companies would get if you were to outsource, just get rid of their product.
Trevor Moore.
And but with the whole like shooting and stuff, because you get the kids who are trying to do what they need to do to get past their problem, and there's two forces stopping them: the rich people, which are the moms, who are using the drug ineffectively and not what it's for, just to lose some weight, a little bit of weight too. That's
what did they say, to lose that extra 5 pounds?
And it's the audacity of just that. If you want to lose weight, if you're losing just 5 pounds, I get it. It's hard. If you're just wanting to, shape up, as you get older, things get harder.
And softer.
But if you're taking a drug that people need and creating a shortage, maybe you should have that 5 pounds on your fucking belly, bitch. But the sugar company's involved. It's just like it's this push and pull mechanic that the boys always have to deal with in every episode because they're being challenged.
I love the scene where Butters is like hanging off the side of the
hey,
semi. Hey mom, Butters, you give mommy those weight loss drugs immediately.
If I recall,
hey, Mama, I didn't think you were on weight loss drugs.
If I recall, I think they killed Craig's mom.
They did.
Yeah, they killed her again. But it's so funny.
Maybe that'll also, because Kenny died in this episode as well.
Those bastards killed Kenny.
Tony the Tiger killed Kenny.
Bastards. And I love this the crisis of the sugar company.
Yeah.
It's just like they're peddling cocaine. And it's like, no, dude, you put sugar in everything, and then people realize it's bad. You can't get mad because they just don't want to fucking take it.
Yeah.
We're still consuming sugar on the daily. Even though if you try to stop, you're still consuming it. Like a 7-Eleven pizza has sugar in
100%.
it. Sprite, even Crisp and Clean and no caffeine, still has sugar in it.
Yep.
And even though it's the cleanest soda, it's still going to have sugar in it.
Dude, most hot sauces have sugar in it.
Yeah.
Somewhere you would think that sugar should not even be closely connected to, you will still find sugar in some hot sauces.
The only reason sugar's in hot sauce is to keep it from being too hot. Because like they make like Tabasco and they don't put sugar in it, but they make Texas Pete, it's got sugar in it to make it less hot. That's fine, but it's just an ingredient, added ingredient.
You still can't get away from it.
Yeah, you can't. It's damn near impossible, and it's flooded the market. You could try, we're drinking Ghost. It has no sugar in it, but it's got caffeine in it like a motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
So, should we dive away from caffeine? Should we dive away from sugar? Should we dive away from like too many carbs or bad proteins?
That's everything in moderation.
But that's the starting thing of this episode is the willpower to do it and the forces that are destroying your willpower to do it. People who go to the keto diet struggle so much because they can't find items without sugar that taste good. Which I'd argue, it's okay to have a fucking carb. God damn it. It's part of what you need to live. But I understand the struggle of it. If your willpower is at a set level, it will get knocked down when you're going to that fucking grocery aisle and seeing everything with sugar in it. Yep. You go through a grocery store and you're going through a diet, it's heart-wrenching because everything you see tastes very bad, isn't filling.
Oh, trust me, I'm aware. I did the no/low carb sugar-free Atkins diet for a good 5 to 8 years. So yeah, trust me, I fully understand that heartbreak of being like a young teen walking through those aisles and it being like, new limited edition specialty flavor of something that you really love, but guess what? You can't have it.
Yeah, and it's like, when you put that in the idea of like a fucking episode of South Park, it's fucking insane.
I love the wrap up though, because we keep getting, clips back and forth of like Cartman fantasizing about being skinny and just talking shit to all these people. And at the very end, as I said, I feel that they've kind of shifted Kyle some, because this was a very current day bleeding heart liberal thing where he's just like, fuck these fucking pharmaceutical industries, fuck all this. You know what? How about we as a school, no, a society, stop making fun of fat people? And all of a sudden all the kids are like, yeah, we agree with that, yeah, and he's just like, it's not, he's like, I used to just think people just didn't have willpower and they were just weak, but looking at it now, seeing how much these industries just push this unhealthy shit down your throat, no wonder people don't have willpower. We should not be making fun of this anymore. Cartman immediately perks up. You mean it? That's all I wanted all along! Starts calling out, when you got saggy tits, bitch! And Kyle, fuck you and your fucking ginger hair and your whole religion's a lie! And he's just like, yeah, well, you... What are you gonna say, bitch? Ha! You ain't got nothing! fucking walking through the airport. Haha, you're in a wheelchair. Ew, you're ugly. You got zits on your face. Here, bitch. Here's my fucking plane ticket. She's like, Pakistan? You're flying to Pakistan by yourself? He's like, oh yes, we'll have a lot of catching up to do.
Like, there's two arguments on that. Should you make fun of fat people? In my opinion, I think you can. It's fine. But the two aspects of it is, it's wrong to bully. No.
Let me tell you something.
There's a difference between poking fun at someone and bullying.
100%.
Bullying is malice and forethought. It's right up there with assault. But poking fun at someone is fine to me. People made fun of me, and I'm fine for it. They rightfully should have, because guess what? I'm going to do the same thing to them. And it's this push-pull mechanic of life. You know, you need to go through a little bit of adversity.
Oh, please, trust me. Do you think I was the bully or the bullied?
Oh, if we met when we were younger, I would have kicked your fucking teeth.
Oh, dude, 100%. But then I would have been like, you like Nintendo and I do too.
Give me that
game. Friends.
Give me that Game Boy Pocket.
Someone stole my green one.
But no, like it's that idea of everyone deserves to get their ass kicked at least once. Because it centers you. It centers you into the world. I'm not joking about that. This is a very important thing. Like, they take it away out of schools. It's like there's a difference between some kid getting beat the shit out of and some kid being like, hey, why don't you back the fuck up? Or, hey, go fuck yourself. You know, like, there's a difference between like the hazing, bullying kind of thing and
torment.
Yeah. So like there's a reason bullying exists. It's mainly for guys. I can't speak for women because women bullying is more cruel.
Yeah, that's a lot more mental.
But I'm not a woman, so I don't give a shit. But as a guy, it's like the people I've had fights with, people I've been bullied or bullied. We resolved it because now there's an understanding because, you know, you're growing up with, you know, guys your age. There's an understanding. It's like, oh, okay, no matter what, we were in this together. You know, white, black, big or tall, fat or slim. You know, it's always just like, at the end of the day, it's just like, oh, we all go to the shithole.
Yeah.
Like,
we're all trying to make it.
And like, as you get older, you know, you hope to realize that through stuff like that. And I think that's the biggest problem we have now is just like, oh, everything is bullying. And it's like, no, it's a critique. Hey, why is this kid, you know,
everything is a gatekeep, everything is a bully, everything is, you know,
and with,
oh, you must be fun at parties. Shut the fuck up.
But like another thing,
sit in a party.
What I look at is like the kids from South Park. You know, they're together. They're friends. They'll do the blood brothers, and they hate each other to a point, but they love each other. You know, it's kind of like your family. You love your family, but you don't have to fucking like them.
I mean, what was Kyle's intro thing? Butters comes running up to him. Kyle, Cartman's crying.
So yeah, like, and that's you know, you can call it toxic masculinity if you want to, but yeah, sometimes it's like I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
it's okay to be apathetic a little bit. Okay, you can have the understanding of empathy, but saying it out loud like, that's pretty fucking gay. Like, it's okay.
I mean, hell, to peel back the curtain some, my life has been a goddamn circus for the last month and a half.
Okay.
Mental fucking shit back and forth. I have been barely able to hold together. How many times have I said shit in the group chat about? Once, as kind of like a, hey guys, if you hadn't noticed over the last week, your boy ain't barely been here. It's been because this, and this. Just letting you know, I got like one or two. Oh, bro, I'm sorry about that. That's it. I just want to let you guys know. Let's not belabor the fucking subject. Let's just move the fuck on.
Hey, if I was going through something, would you guys help me out? No. It's literally the dude video. It's literally this. It's like, no, whatever happens, whatever's bad's happening to you, I hope it gets worse. But like, that's, you know, that's the level of hazing. There's just like, I'm saying this to get you to crack up. I'm getting you this to elevate your fucking self. It's like,
yes.
But I think that's nuanced, and like people aren't allowing it to be freely done. And South Park allows that.
And that's why I still love this show.
If you want a perfect example of how toxic masculinity can actually help someone's personality, watch Tires on fucking Netflix, because that is a perfect example of why these shit fuck people work so well together and bully each other and fucking function as a unit. And I'm just like, I'm not saying like military wise, but goddamn, Shane Gillis really knocked it out of the park.
How many episodes are there?
6.
Okay,
and it's fucking perfect.
So this week, I'm actually just like when we're doing our retro hunting, there are so many things I see that I want, but I've been having to like put them in order of importance. I'm now going to shoot Tired above X-Men, because next time we record, we ought to do a rundown to that series, because you have been talking it up big.
God
the
damn,
trailer
I've never laughed so hard.
The trailer looked really good, so yeah, I think that'll be what we talk about in our next full episode.
But the South Park, again, knocked it out of the park. 10 out of 10 for me.
Best one, as you said, since the COVID specials, for sure.
Check out Paramount, check out everything they got. It's, like I said, it really knocked it out of the park with some of this stuff.
I'm loving it.
Yep.
But this has been another fantastic episode. As I mentioned at the top of the episode, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you do not miss our video game content. All these episodes are also now being mirrored to YouTube as well. So if that is your preferred method of listening to episodes, you can now do it there. I got requests for it for years, and I'm now finally doing it for you. Make it worth my while, motherfuckers. Make sure to sign up for the Discord. Link is also in this episode description and everywhere else that you follow us, like Instagram and Facebook. We are having a lot of fun in there, and over on my shelf right there in front of that TV, one day we will be doing a movie commentary on the VHS copy of Glenn Danzig's Death Rider.
I hope there's previews.
I do too. But that's going to be a very special episode, because we are going to be doing a video commentary on that. But it's not going to be audio based. It will be audio and video based, because I didn't buy that VHS for no fucking reason. We got to show it off. So it's going to be a little bit of a different commentary video. It's not going to be the full straight video, more or less a trimmed down 20-minute best of. And I'm going to try that format for this one just to see how it goes. And if that goes well, that might be the way we do our movie commentaries moving forward. That way we don't feel as stressed to talk about it the entire time. And we can really cut out the good segments and make it funny video content as well. So we'll try that out, and if you have any recommendations for us for that kind of content, let us know in the Discord or comment on any of this stuff. And I think I have done all the housekeeping that I need, aside from saying grab you some merch in the merch store while we still got it. And Chris!
Before you do, a shout out to Dante for hitting 1 million on his TikTok video.
Yes, congratulations, Dante.
Good for you, man.
A very big difference between bullying and hazing. We love to haze Dante, but we are very proud of our boy. As much shit as we do talk on the show, seriously, man, congratulations on that. That is impressive. He has really been to throw a little love toward Dante, since we always talk shit on him. When we talk about motivation, when we talk about actually doing the thing, Dante does the thing. This motherfucker posts a new video every fucking day on his TikTok. He is reaching out to people. He is doing the thing. We joke about him having 1 million fucking specials, but you know what? He's booking shows. He's filming them, and he's putting them out there. And he is a textbook example of the kind of motivation and the type of, honestly, due diligence you really need to do when you're trying to do this type shit. So to see it really paying off for him now, and the algorithm finally shining a little light on him and giving him that little boost, it makes me proud of the boy. But enough gushing. Fuck you, Dante. You never listen to these shows anyway, you asshole. You won't even know we fucking said any of that shit. But for this episode of the Couch Potatoes, I've been Alex and Chris. Do you have any sort of final thoughts for us?
Fuck you, Dante.
You've been listening to the Something Good Network. If you liked what you heard, you can follow us on Instagram, and check out the other great shows on the network. Link is in the episode description.